Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. I'm Tracy Shuchart, Senior Economist, and here's what happened while we were away. Obviously, a sell-off in chip makers have dragged down stocks today amid concerns whether artificial intelligence investments will justify the lofty evaluations, along with the resurgence in geopolitical risks also weighing on sentiment. There was a note out from Miller Tabak today that said the action in the chip stocks going forward is still the most important issue for the stock markets. They are definitely showing some meaningful cracks, or so they're going to have to see a strong and sustainable rebound soon, or it will raise some real warning flags. And in more AI news, Oracle's ambitions to dominate the AI build-out are running into a key hurdle: funding a spending spree without further damaging its credit standing. The tech giant is burning cash faster than it can generate revenue, as it's in the midst of a $250 billion data center expansion. That's led S&P Global Ratings to cut the company's credit rating to BBB minus, just one step above junk status. Moody's rating has a negative outlet, meaning another cut is possible in the medium term. The ratings agency said it has continually underestimated how much Oracle would need to spend upfront for AI investments, and that investment has led the company to burn through more than $20 billion in the last 4 quarters. In more AI news, we have NVIDIA unveiled a new AI model for robots and vision AI agents today, deepening its push into the physical AI market in Japan. The company's new model, Cosmos 3 Edge, is a so-called world model designed to help systems perceive and navigate physical environments in real time. World models are systems that can learn from a wider range of inputs compared to regular large language models. The rollout follows the launch of Cosmos 3 in May. No specific date for that, but the announcement has been made. Moving on to the crude markets. If you were here this morning, I talked about the options expiry today, the largest call strike being at 79.50 and the largest put strike being at 78. I mentioned this morning we likely will be pinned because of this, and we have been, meaning pinned, meaning we would settle between 79.50 and but higher than 78, so everybody loses. Welcome to crude on OPEX day. Looks like crude settles in about 30 minutes, and it looks like we probably will settle below 79.50 and above 78. Also, there is a unusual favored hedge in oil right now. It's called the oil taco trade. About 400 million barrels worth of dollar-wide put spreads have traded since the middle of last week. They're short-term and kind of relatively inexpensive hedges, betting on the fact that Trump will taco at any minute and the conflict will come to an end. So that seems to be a popular short-term trade for traders right now, called, again, the oil taco trade. In other new oil news, Iran warned today that it would crush key targets in the Middle East if U.S. President Trump threats to target the country's infrastructure in the coming days are carried out. They also said that the Houthis would shut down the Bab el-Maghrib Strait as well, should that happen. So let's hope that doesn't. That certainly would cause an oil price spike. We did have mortgage rates come out today. The average for the 30-year fixed loan was 6.55%, up from 6.49% a week earlier. That is the highest since August 2025. And Last but not least, we have short sellers are rapidly increasing their bets against SpaceX, driving bearish positioning to nearly 1/3 of the company's public float as the struggling stock hovers below its IPO price. About 185 million SpaceX shares are now sold short, representing roughly 30% of the company's publicly tradable float. So there you go. And with that, I will hand it to Jim for an Edge report.
Thank you, Tracy. Before we get into the charts, I want to remind everybody this afternoon, 4 p.m., the bell's going to ring. Do not get out of your seat. We have a very special event, Develop Your Edge, with Nick4ATick. We'll be going at it for an hour. A-plus setups and no trade zones. This is going to be the topic, and we're going to take questions, live questions as we go. So if you can get into the chat, it'll be awesome. All right, let's take a look at the E-mini S&P. Well, we finally broke out of the comfort zone that we talked about earlier. That was where that VWAP was resting, volume weighted average price, and we did it with some gusto. We broke through. We tried to get back up again. We didn't even have a reverse VWAP touch. We never really got back up to the VWAP. And right now we sold off. We're below the second standard deviation band, the first lower standard deviation band, I should say. We broke through S1. London lows, forget about it. And we're targeting session lows. Now, session lows were just shy of that HVL level. They were at 75.50, so missed it by 2 ticks. But looks like that's where we're going as we speak. Now, that's kind of important because of all the options expiration and all the stuff that Craig and Tracy talked about earlier today. And, we're going to test it. There's a double bottom here. And that's going to be that H-vol level. That's kind of where gamma could shift a little bit. And if we do get some candles closing below that, it could accelerate quickly a move to the downside. Alternatively, it just might be wicked support. So I'm looking for candle closes below it. I have a 10-minute chart up there to kind of drill in a little bit. Below there, though, if we do break through, we have previous sessions lows at 75, 71 and 3/4. Now below that is where it gets interesting. We have a Mentor Q's 1-day min. This is the expected range today, by the way, guys. I mean, this is like what's supposed to happen. 75, 55 and spot 50. And then below that, we have 2 areas of interest that are lined together. There's this S2 and put support. It's 75.50. These are really super important levels, guys, as well as, again, if we get through that high vol level, we accelerate to the downside, that could be the new target, 75.50. So the pins will change, so to speak. In any event, we'll see what happens here as we go forward here. I just do want to also mention another special thing about next week. We have 2 things going next week. We do have Monday. We do have an arena challenge. It's a micro arena challenge, $5,000 of prizes. Anybody could join. Just pop in, go to the website. You could sign up for it. It's free. And we're going to have 3 very talented traders trading against each other. We're going to have Lumi, Tanya, and Selma. And they'll be going live at 9 a.m. Then Thursday, special event, 4 p.m. East Coast time with Anthony Crudele and AJ from Lucent. And we're launching a brand new Discord channel, so those links will be in the chat as well. So keep an eye out for those as we go. Real quickly here, before we go to the main event, I do want to pop up a crude oil chart. Let me pop that guy up really quickly here. Tracy mentioned 79.50 to 78 even. We're kind of smack dab in the middle, actually. We're at 78.80 right now, so 78.50 would be. 78 even, is where put support is at 78. That totally makes sense. 0DT put support is right there. Nice sell-off so far. We'll see if that S1 holds and if we have a good bottom in right now in crude as we kind of aim for the middle of the road, so to speak. I have another JAX level as well, as in addition to the 79.50. That 80 level for that gamma exposure level 1 is up there. That was from this morning, rolled into this afternoon. So right now trading below the first standard deviation band. So crude is definitely heavy right now, and it's actually going in union with the stock index futures. Well, at least the NASDAQ and the S&P. The Dow and the Russell 2000 are totally different stories. Treasury bonds holding their own at that 111 handle, still below that 111.11, which is where my comfort zone ends. So we'll see what happens there. Not out of the woods yet for interest rates. All right, well, that is this afternoon's Edge Report. We are ready to trade the close. And we have with us today XYZ representing the West Coast, along with Christian trading boxes, and then somewhere in I guess the middle of the country, we'll call it the middle of the country. Nick4ATick is with us, and Nick's going to stay on. He's going to be working overtime today because he's going to keep it rolling for another hour after the bell rings. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, guys.
So we have Rich Pocket asks Nick if he could talk in an Australian accent so we could retain all the information better.
That, unfortunately, that is just not a skill that I possess. I'm happy to clone my voice and give it an Australian accent via AI, but that's about the best I could do.
That's
It's
probably
funny.
good enough.
We have all of these videos, how-to videos that I did. And you could change the language. Like you could listen to me talk in Italian or Russian or Chinese. It's crazy technology.
Yep, I did the same for some of XY's videos for our late night stuff and some of the educational pieces he's done. It's like I get people from all over the world randomly saying like, "Thank you guys for dubbing this in Spanish," and I coded it to do that, but I didn't realize how many languages that actually meant it would dub,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
That's sick.
Super, super awesome.
I want to meet
In any
Spanish
event, well, we'll see.
XYZ.
We have some excitement going on in the stock index futures. Let's go around the table here and see what everybody thinks. XYZ, let's start with you.
You said excitement. I must be missing something.
I was
But
just bounced like 10 points during the introduction.
yeah, I just turned on the charts literally like 20 minutes ago, and I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I have been notified that it's the biggest expiry of all time or something tomorrow, and it's already taken effect. So that's probably why, but this doesn't look great for me. The levels I have are still the same. Below here, seeing the build is making me think that we have some space to just come down through this, but I am not looking to enter here, which would be where they should hold. Maybe up here where the zone is. I would have loved to do so earlier, but missed opportunity. Maybe not. We'll see. Right now, I'm not looking to. I wouldn't say it's like no man's land because there is some structure being built, but it kind of is for that down move. My biggest note is finally, the zone is from big volume that actually pushed the market. If you look at the candles, this build held and pushed it higher, and then there's a taper, and they actually built today interest to sell and interest to sell lower, and now they're working on the low node, which, I would not want to long because we're finding interest in this lower range now, which to me could be, when the market makes its move lower. Just where we are now is not as advantageous for me. Gold looks like it's back out in the shed, out back again. I will probably not touch this. Gold's usually really slow around the trade the close too. So
Yeah.
probably Asia is where you'll get something, but clearly, I don't really trade Globex. But something to note is this is a big build here. Last time that held, which drove it to new ranges. And then right now we're seeing a taper. So we know there's some demand here, as you can see in the volume build. Right now, interest is iffy. If they couldn't do it right here with all of this volume build, it's not looking good for extended downsides with this kind of build. Again, if they hold this node though, and then we see acceleration and interest in this range, that could be it. But if it's going to keep holding this and trading up here and not down here, this is where the market right now does not want to go, then you're likely going to get a move back, maybe towards the 4,030. And then they'll make their next choice there. This is all stemming from this coming back up. Big node lost that, built another one, and continued lower, and now coming back to this supply. You can see the big volume. No go, back down. So it's not looking strong on gold. It's not looking strong on NQ. ES's profile is like hot garbage. Yeah, that's where I am now. As far as I can see, there's nothing to be done unless something changes.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you, XY. Christian, what are you thinking, man?
I've been short all day. I've been shorting every possible account that I have. Swing account, day trade account, the IB strategy account. We found acceptance at this 360 zones, which was base support. If I pull up the 4-hour here or the hourly, we kept bouncing off this 300-ish area. And what did we do this morning? We came down into it. We consolidated for, I don't know, was this 2 hours? That was acceptance of that support, right? Multi-week support area. And I've been short since that breakdown, multiple accounts. And I'm just going to continue writing short because this is, to me, day one of a breakdown. I mean, we're still sort of in a range, right? Like ES is so strong versus NQ that I would not be surprised if this is like some the option expiration thing tomorrow, where this is just some trickery to get tech lower, and then we bounce back up, or not only until tomorrow, but into earnings next week. So I don't know if we'll have a big breakdown follow through, but for now, if we hold this 220s, we can bounce. If we break lower, I have a target of 29,060s, which is what I'm shilling this one of my accounts to, and apart from this other IB strategy that I'm short on too. So I'm just going to be trailing those.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you, Christian. Nick, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, if we want to talk about no trade zones for me, we're kind of about to sit in one for NQ. I don't really want to initiate like right here, right now. I could see us bouncing, and then you could also see us kind of rotating another 100 or so points lower if we lose this little node. So I haven't traded a whole lot today. We're heading to that bottom edge of this like wider balance that I've kind of been in. So you're either hopefully seeing it kind of try to take out a little bit below 200s, perhaps towards the 100s, and then maybe we get the other side of balance rotation eventually. But if not, I mean, I just don't love initiating kind of on these lows as we have continued to drift down lower and lower and lower. So I'm kind of waiting and watching at this point. I did not catch the 420 short, which is probably what I should have been in sitting in all day.
Awesome. All right. By the way, folks, I mean, XYZ mentioned the largest expiration of all time, at least for now, tomorrow. If you didn't catch it, Craig Shapiro did a really good explanation on the morning gap early this morning. I know it's early for some of you guys, but he talked about that, and then Shai talked about the crude oil pin as well. Really good discussions. You could always watch the recording at any time of the day if you can't wake up that early. But it was a really good discussion, especially going into tomorrow. So just wanted to point that out, everybody. I am going to wish you guys the best of luck on any trades you might make. I'm going to dip in the chat, and we're going to come back, and we'll be ready for Develop Your Edge with Nick.
See you, Jim.
Take care. All right, an Italian, an Asian guy, and a Mexican
Dude,
trade the close. What happens?
Yeah, this
Italian, debatable.
I don't think the three of us, I don't think this combo has happened.
It's DEI Wednesday? Thursday? What's today?
Take a little Oreo sandwich here.
Am I DEI? I don't know if I think
You're not DEI, yeah, no.
Any
Sorry.
European is just considered
Definitely
white. So yeah, I don't think I qualify.
Where? Oh. All right.
Am I Italian? Yes, I am in fact Italian.
Full or half?
No, both grandparents immigrated from
well, you can still be
Italy.
half if both grandparents are.
Well, I'm in both sides.
Okay, I don't
My
know if
mom's
this is
side and dad's side
embellishment.
both came to New York as first generations.
Ah, of course, New York. But the accent's gone now, huh? Down
I
here.
was born in Southern California, man, just like you guys. Well, actually,
Boo.
I don't
No
know if you two
accent.
were, but no accent.
Yeah, I don't know if this is embellishment from Ultimate Q, but he says, XYZ, thank you so much. I suddenly became massively profitable because of you. That kind of sounds like when, you see a YouTube thumbnail. It's like, I discovered this one strategy and now I make $100,000 a day. If it's true,
200 to 20,000 in 3 trades
if
with
it's
this
true, that's awesome.
99% winning strategy. Definitely not a regulator issue with any of those statements.
No disclaimers, no
I
nothing.
don't know how people get away with like not putting disclaimers on some of these YouTube thumbnail and claims that they make. It's insane.
Oh, Italian guy. My brother has recently come into Prince money because of me. Well, send some your way to the family.
I've recently come into Prince money, as in like Prince, or
Like
like
probably
Saudi
like
Prince.
Nigerian, like PayPal Prince, Nigerian
I didn't
scammy.
know if you meant Purple Rain Prince or the other kinds of princes.
Both are good.
Yeah, both are fine.
Who's old enough to know about that PayPal scam? About the prince needing to offload his money for whatever reason, and
Hmm.
he just happened to choose you to be the beneficiary. Who's old enough for that in the chat? $4 to 400K in 1 month. Hmm.
Your 9 to 5 hates this one simple trick. I I feel like my computer's running slow. I put my long time frame chart so we could actually like break down things during Develop Your Edge. Since we're basically going to be using this, and then I can tease you guys. Well, I guess I'll have to reshare something. Oh no, I guess it's no. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reshare this.
Changed
Probably.
my life. There you go. So there are old folks in the chat. Production aging themselves as well.
Oops.
You received one through Messenger this? No way. It's still going strong. I mean, I guess if it works, just gotta keep doing it.
Guys, that was my fault. I was trying to click a button and I clicked the wrong button. Share's coming back. There we go.
How are we doing today, chat? Are you guys trading?
You guys surviving this chat? It does not look
This
very
tape is not
fun.
normal.
Yeah,
This
honestly,
tape is
this
not what it seems.
Yeah, if you're not short from the highs, it's been very choppy.
it looks painful. Even if you're right, it's painful. Can't say I'm FOMO about this week, especially today. Sheesh. If gold doesn't crack this now, oh man, we'll be in this range forever. Which makes me even more excited for single stock futures.
Yep.
Does anyone know um, what margins will look like since, 100 shares of one thing could be like a gazillion dollars? Anyone in the chat? Man,
Uh,
dude, I
that's a good
would,
question.
but I've lost all my money in the markets today.
You're out of
All
monies?
of it. Lost all of it. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I haven't even opened the charts till now. Fiber optic, honestly, I don't know. I stole this from Nick.
Would you steal?
He asked how we do the daily profiles. Like it's an OFL thing. Is it an OFL thing? Study?
Mm, I mean, no. Because this is just the normal ones. Like on my screen, like these aren't OFL. These are just the normal order flow volume profiles from Ninja. Like when I
There
built
you have
this,
it.
I built this whole chart book for like the Sunday night show when we were doing
Mhm.
like weekly prep, and I was trying to break things down, which is honestly how I do my long time frame kind of guidance, define levels and things like we'll talk about later this afternoon. But yeah, it's not. This isn't an OFL one. They built a custom volume profile that XY and I could still use, but for example, me doing like a full week's profile build like this, honestly, it was not the custom one that the OFL team has built was not designed to do something like this.
Oh yeah. Well, Candle Nerd got him sorted. Candle Nerd, thank you. Shoot him a tip. You have gold calls? I mean, it's not a bad spot to get gold calls. This is probably kind of like a do or die. And then if you're right, you get paid a lot. If you're not, eh, what's the harm? Hope you guys do well. Very choppy tape. Looks like a bounce is coming. Well, that's kind of the thing about down days. It always looks like a bounce is coming, and then it goes lower. So it's tough. It is looking good. I can agree with that. They got this slight build and now they're back above this. They've seemingly locked it out. They're getting interest back up here, which can rotate through, but still it's really slow. ATR is not the worst, 21, 20, but I've seen better. I think that's the key to it all. If you can look at market activity and be aware and know like, hey, you know what? I've seen better. Um, that would save you a lot of heartache. If things pick up in some way, sure, but I mean, even looking at ES here, same thing. They got this little notch and now they're back through, so they could rotate through the range. The high is quite interesting. That was the first thing I noticed on ES. This traded through. It's like a shuffle. You can sit on this thing and then it trades through and just, it's not the best access, but market doesn't care. They left the build behind, built another one, worked on another one. So profile wise, it's possible. This could be the move back to test. Maybe up here in Q again, but again, it's the runway is a bit too narrow. Even if you're right on a trade, risk reward is not as good as, the days. As Chris said, if you're either short already or there's probably not much to be done right now.
Mm-hmm. Having my tunes.
15% of notional. Hmm. Whoa, whoa. Payroll for me today transferred from NT account to my bank, meaning reset my working capital in time for next week. Gene, this is biz. Congratulations. You've made it out the week. Does that mean you're not trading tomorrow? I know nothing. See ya. Virum trades. Hit the like on the way out. About
Hey,
6:21.
KTS. Hey, Cats. Good to see you. Come on, let's go down. I need my targets to get hit.
What are my thoughts on the 4-week profile? Like is that a fancy way of saying 30-day? I don't know. It looks kind of like the 5-day. It's just a little bit extended, but it's pretty thin on either side. It just looks like, oops, sorry. It just looks like they want to keep trading this range. Right now, they're in the middle of another decision, right? And if this node here does not see continued interest right now, I mean, the candle is halfway through, 30 minutes, this candle will close, but they not only need to see sustained interest in dealing this range, but you need to see more volume built underneath this. So build this out however they do, however big, and start to build another one. That's a sign that, okay, this is still looking to continue lower. But if they stop trading this, batch of volume and then just keep trading this one, then it increases the likelihood that, all right, now we'll start to move back through, make another choice here. Does this hold again for a reoffer, or does it start to move through and they'll hold this on the way back likely, and then you're back through this range again? So that's my view right now. Market's in the middle of making a choice, and that's not really, I would prefer to see them having made a choice. Like right here, if you were just to assume that, okay, this is done, we're going to trade through, you probably wouldn't be too happy right now. This is when it would count. They have to hold it now. This would be what would make me interested in maybe taking longs through if they can hold it now as they're testing it again. But they could definitely go lower, and now this is a rejection of this range now. So they rejected this range, built under the level, went a little lower, back into this range. If they're making it a lower move, it's rejecting this range, and that's going to be likely continued volume building until, probably the swing low, prior week low. Gold's not doing it any favors. ES, definitely not doing any favors. Let's look at the tape. ES's tape it's pretty negative right now. So
I'm literally trying to get something to show people for later. Something I'm working on. When everyone's finally asking me you've been Claude maxing so much, when are you going to start actually doing stuff for trading? Well, we'll start talking about some of those things. This is such a work in progress.
It's a trading show, sir.
Privately. But since everything I do is basically based on MGI, it's why not have a single repository instead of 7 different charts, and then surface insights as things happen and hit them, so that I don't have to rely on alerts from charting platforms and things. And this could go to my phone, and I could build it exactly how I want it, not the way TradingView or anyone else says I have to have it.
Hell
Claude
yeah.
maxing.
Claude maxing, baby.
Well, actually, this isn't even Claude. This was Codex and some local models doing a lot of polls out of
What's
Ninja
Codex?
and other places.
Is that chat?
That's OpenAI's.
That's ChatGPT, right? OpenAI?
Yes. But Codex is their coding UI naming convention.
The patience is palpable with this group. Yeah, sometimes we do, sometimes we are, sometimes we're a little off the handle. You never know. Have to stay inside today due to smoke from Canada. I feel like a caged animal. That sucks. So you're literally trapped inside with the charts. Can't even go outside if you wanted to.
They say smoke from Canada?
Oops. Yeah, I guess maybe there's a fire. I don't know. What is my zone from 400 to 350 based on? What zone is? Oh, this. This zone is based off this. We ran over this earlier in the stream. So what is this? Is this the 8th, July 8th? We tested outside the range. If you look here, right? Scrunch it up outside the range and then back through. Majority of the build is here, and they actually held it and pushed through. So this is important to me. This volume responsible for bidding this up, and they established a new range, and now coming back, the interest is dried, taper, taper, taper. So my reference is, if it keeps tapering, it'll probably snap back. But if we start to see interest, this could go through, and they got it, and then pushed it through and built even lower. So that level, this zone is just off of that level. And today it worked pretty well. I mean, there's a low volume spot right between it. You can see the price action. Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, that's the zone. Michigan? Whoa. So, okay. It's that bad that Chicago, Michigan, Lake Erie, geez, over 1,000 square kilometers burning right now. Whoa. Yeah, I didn't even know about this till right now. That is actually insane. Grand Rapids. Yeah, sorry to hear that, guys.
Fudge.
Well, Nick can break down. He can fire a trade out of boredom, but Chris, he can't because he's already in a trade. He's sitting in the best trade of the day, so he's good
Plus,
to go.
there's just not enough R's to go around, so Chris has already captured them all.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. He didn't save any for us.
I could see us continuing to go lower, but I don't know. ES is it's funny. ES just says does not want to sell off this top edge of this balance.
Oh, it will. I think it will.
Crazy.
It's pretty heavy here. Heavy on the volume.
Let's make a new low.
So yeah, like I mentioned earlier, on down days, it always looks like there could be the bounce, and then it's a new low. Wait until they really lose ground in some capacity, you know. Usually then that reversal move just won't stop. Like that reoffer will never come back in.
TX, it's based on an R multiple. And I'm following specific rules for this IB strat that I have. Oh, Jesus, what happened to Google? Chris, is there anywhere you break down EMA wedging in that kind of final wake that often sweeps the consolidation? Yes, in the group. I'm sorry, but I have all my education material in the group, and I do break down that structure. Actually, wait, no, I did a video on this for the developer edge, the EMA wedging, which is a non-trending period, but like real specific education around that. It's in the group.
Leo Garcia just passed his first lucid trading eval. I'm getting better at
Nice.
auction market theory and volume profile. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They're really going to leave this low?
Are there signs for a reversal from a potential new low? That's the trick. There always is a sign for a reversal from a potential new low. Everyone thinks it's a little sweep rebid, and then there will be 8 more through the day. Chris, is there anywhere you break down EMA wedging and that kind of final wick that often sweeps up above the consolidation? Did you answer that earlier?
Yeah.
Let me see what happened towards.
Thanks, Tracy. I just saw that too. We'll bring it
Google,
down.
they delayed the launch because of tech weakness, or that caused tech weakness.
At cost weakness.
Okay. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Okay.
All right, come on down. Come on down. The price is right.
Come on down.
Likely means their model is not performing up to even better than probably what some of the open source basic models are doing.
ES's tape has been really heavy at these lows for the past like 10 minutes, maybe longer. A lot of volume. Sell side. They are definitely interested in selling this.
There we
this
go.
range.
ES is trying to party, NQ. What are you doing?
NQ's scared. NQ's got a ways to go. I mean, there's not too much volume to hold this up if they're trading below 180s, 170s, you know. That's like the last batch is right here down to 170s. Supermarket sweep, got to get the hog first. Yeah, I remember watching it. Everyone's just running for the hog. Google is red because I asked Gemini how to keep cheese on my pizza. It tells me to use Elmer's glue. Failing reliability tests? Oh, that's pretty bad. Use Gemini?
No.
That says it all, guys. Nick does not use Gemini. They're cooked.
I got to set up my my new toy later.
Imagine everyone tuning in to develop your edge after and realizing it's nothing to do with trading at all. It's just how you're building AI models.
No, that's
How to make better
another show.
cutscenes.
We are how we do cutscenes. Yes, that would be
That's
well
the
worth
develop
the
your
TV.
edge.
No, I'm just trying to continue to. I've realized like I'm just hosting so many things on stuff I actually use every day, and it's gotten complicated. So hence another computer.
How hot is your room right now? What's the
I
temperature?
have an air conditioning coming today.
Woo!
Wait,
Things are
like the
lit up.
normal AC can't cool down your room?
There's just too much heat coming off the little server farm, Chris, that I have now built in this
Yeah,
office.
his AC actually caught on fire, so it ended itself. A split system or a portable? Someone asked. Yeah, you doing like a mini split, Nick?
It's a portable, so it just will jack into my window.
Mhm.
It's the problem isn't that it gets too hot in here, it's that this is like the sun hits this room too. And where the thermostat is, it's normal. It's the whatever 71 degrees is probably what it is up here right now. But because of the way the office is set up and me being backed into a corner, it just gets very hot in here.
Well,
So is your
Josh, it's
stuff
for the
by the
greater
wall?
good.
What?
Is your stuff by the wall?
It's all away from the wall, but Chris, I'm like backed into my desk, like an L desk is in a corner. So, and then fans and heat, lights. So yeah, it's just not the most ideal setup. I'm
Sounds
actually
like a hazard.
but we're gonna be doing a little office redesign sponsored by somebody out there in the desk space.
Yeah, Chris, Nick is running a very tight stop on this right now. If one of his systems catches fire, it's going to be a tough one. He's only got a small point of exit, and
This is true.
really tight stop on this.
Me and the dogs.
But
Gotta make an
but
exit.
Josh, I understand your pain, but it's for the greater good. He's pumping out major content, you know? So
Yeah.
you don't need all that power. It's
If you
fine.
think you need electricity more than the world needs to see videos of Goro Stowe, you are completely incorrect. Like everybody wanted to see Stowe as a four-armed mythical creature from Mortal Kombat. And you can't tell me I'm wrong.
How long does it take to like create one of those posters?
The posters, it's the same thing. It's layers. The videos take significantly longer, but the posters I've gotten down to basically like a two-layered Asian agent skill
Did you say
prompt.
Asian? You have Asians working for you?
Agents.
Wow.
Asian agents.
How do you
Yes.
feel by that?
Just one.
I
Just
mean,
one, and he's
that's
on stream
premium,
with
right?
me.
Isn't that premium? That's
A
quality.
sweatshop in there. That's why the room is high. You're making them work.
Yes.
Premium agents. You know, hey,
But
look.
it's funny if you watch the first one that I did for me and XY and then what they are now. And it's like these are now like full cinematic like moments. It's so crazy.
Hey, look, Tracy said the videos are sick, dude.
She loves
Approved.
them.
Man, stamp of approval right there.
I'm glad I've kept Tracy entertained with just the stupidity that makes me and the boys laugh.
The funniest thing is I mean, you can't not notice it, but the opening scene of that Western of you and Stowe and that shot glass is literally
Oh, it's
crooked.
crooked.
Like and then when he puts it back, it's perfect.
That was one of like the last ones I did, and it was one of those when I finally saw it rendered. I'm like, I'm done. I'm broken. This scene has broken me.
It is what it is. Stowe does magic with the shot glasses. It is
Yep.
what it is. 90 degree, yeah.
Am I why utility bills are so high? Unfortunately, no.
Iran says Trump's claim of U.S. prisoner release is false. Okay, so some things haven't changed. Iran just constantly saying anything he says is fake. And he says they're lying. Violent peace talk tape. I went on a date to Abhishek. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but how old are you, man? If you're saying you got catfished, how old are you? This thing's building out a little bigger now. '24, huh? So young. Yeah, she's chill because she's 39.
Wait, someone got
There's
catfished?
not a
What?
lot left that bothers you when you're close to 40.
Wait,
Take it
are
from
we
me.
is this a dating show now?
Yeah,
Superman?
NT Live, big dating show. Big dating show. It's like what's that guy that tells everyone never to spend money and just save everything they've ever had? Dave
Oh,
Ramsey?
yeah, Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, but this is like the dating version. Call in Dave Ramsey, talk about how much money you have. He's never spend it, don't spend it, don't do anything with it. Matter of fact, never talk about it again.
What what was the one called? Like you were like behind a door or a curtain, like the three guys were, or the three options, and then
Hey,
someone's.
I don't want to know that show. Three guys behind a
Nah,
curtain.
It's
nah,
just
Chris, you in and out.
They say it's just called the dating game. I thought it was something else.
Chris
Yeah, it's like
downloaded the wrong. Chris downloaded the wrong version. That was the
yeah.
issue. Wait a minute.
You told me three guys, one curtain.
Yeah, he downloaded the wrong. Someone gave him the wrong title, and yeah, yeah. NT Live, real. This price action got us turning into a dating show. This that. Any callers? First time caller, long time What do you call it? Listener?
This is a preview of trading Asia markets Ninja with NinjaTrader.
Does low look terrible on VPT? No, it looks great. Looks fine, totally fine. And I'm not being sarcastic, it actually looks okay. So yeah, I think let them figure this out first if you're on NQ, this node here, this range. And if you're on ES, this range is kind of the same thing, both sides actually. But yeah, let them figure these out, this one in particular out, and then see what's good. Gold's not doing any favors for them, but yeah, the low looks okay. Love connection with I've never even heard of this thing at all. You gonna call it Bodega Baddie? I mean, she probably on standby. She's probably on standby. She's always on call. She's the emergency on call. Very reliable. Very soon questions to flood the chat, i.e., what are you wearing? Yeah, can you guys imagine like when Jim brings us in, he'll always ask like, oh, what's your outlook on the day for the market? What are you thinking? It's always just, so what are you wearing, Nick? What are you wearing today? I mean, I'm sure I'm old enough to know Love Connection. I'm old enough to know a lot of things. I just haven't, yeah. Was it an American show or like European or something? Or
I don't know.
I never really watched dating shows, so I mean the closest to that is probably like Maury and Jerry Springer, you know, those
Maury,
reality shows.
Maury, Maury.
You are not the father. And the guy's doing like 360 backflip. Cameraman has to sprint full speed towards backstage to get the shot. When ATR is high, would you say the day can be more whippy, rotational? Yeah, I would say so. Um, that's when I want to really get greedy with my entries because if I don't, it doesn't end well. But yeah, when it's higher ATR, it is whippy because if it's like the market's moving up and it's high ATR, it's pretty whippy. But if it's a strong up move, you'll find that ATR is pretty dry. It's really slow tape. Those trend days up, that's really sustained, shallow pullbacks. It's pretty low ATR, which is what makes it painful, right? Um, Down days, high ATR, high pace, high volume, volatility. It's always really expanded ATR. And that's because the pullbacks on sell-off days can be like 150 points, and that's just a pullback. It's really crazy like that. And if it's high ATR and it's not a directional market, it's choppy, super choppy. So yeah, that's how I view those conditions with ATR. Barack, thank you, I think. Do you use any type of directional trend filter? Of course. I mention it all the time. It's called the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA on a 5-minute time frame. If those things are sloped in one direction, don't fade it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of sloped on NQ-ish, yeah. From about 2 hours into the market, it started to slope down. That's when the move started. Same thing with ES. Since 90 minutes ago, it started really sloping, and they've just been crawling lower. So, yep.
I
Yeah,
need
well, the games have
bars.
changed, right? Now they just got that balloon popping show. Is that a show or is that just like um short clips off YouTube or something? I don't even know.
I think it's on YouTube.
Oh, so it's not an actual like TV show, it's just like a YouTube broadcast thing.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mark. Hope the day has treated you well.
Oh, there we go. Come on, give us new lows. Thanks, Burrick. Burrick? Burrock.
I think 120s are solid.
I have 178 target and then 100.
178 is a great target. I think 120s can definitely trade today. That would only be 50% extended from the IB, which isn't that large. So definitely reasonable target, these 120s.
That was your best friend's grandpa's rooster's name.
What?
Okay.
Somebody trying to jump in here on NQ.
Jesus, what have Amazon can't stop going down? I mean, Google.
Yeah, well, everyone's like dumping on Gemini, even us, even on this show. Gemini's
Yeah, I
getting
think
dumped.
XY just dumped on it. So
Yeah, Nick doesn't even use it. That tells you everything. This guy, he's pretty much like 80% AI at this point, and in that 80%, none of it is Gemini. Tells me all I need to know.
Come on down. Come on down.
VIX new highs.
Just short and chill. Short and chill.
Well, Mia, it's all relative, right? On the day's range. Some days a 30 ATR, like a 30 ATR today would be literally 10% of the day's range. It's quite extreme. But I would say like I mean we've been seeing upwards of 50 ATR on the 1 minute, even 60. Could get really crazy. Could get really crazy. But it's relative. Christos, yes. I'll see you later. We'll do some volume profile stuff. It's going to be a new one. It's going to be something I've never discussed before. So super special, secret stuff.
I'm never chill. What?
Never chill, always tilted.
Check. Oh my God, Gemini. Never mind. I'm not going to get baited into reading that one. Never mind.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why, you know her?
I've
Go ahead.
I've already made enough comments on trading platinum on this show. We're good.
XY fault. Yeah, I got some new for you guys today. Some new. So stop by.
I can't even tell which one of you guys in the chat now are just bots. Can't tell who's messing with me at this point.
Clown show. All right, man. All right. Hey, bring that energy later, all right? Show's a little different today. This NT live stream a little different today. Energy a little different. Oh, sorry, Frank.
Frank, there's no way to do all the time zones around the world is the
Yeah.
problem.
It's actually too late in the day for me. It starts literally at dinner time, like prime
Yep.
dinner time. So yeah, we try our best to accommodate. Even I'm making my sacrifices for you guys. So
Like there's no way to please everybody.
But you can always rewatch it, you know. It's there. Just anyone that has questions and stuff, you'll have to be present. This is like insanely. I can't believe that the ATR is 15 right now. It's actually shocking to me.
I can't believe our vol is basically zero.
Yeah, it's moving like zero RVol, but the ATR is 15. Feels like it's 5 or 6.
The Qs are coming into support here, like at 705, which for NQ would be
I have this area as kind of like minor, very, very minor
190s.
support down to the 170s. But if they clear the 170s downwards, there's not much left to even discuss. Might as well just run all the way down to prior week low, maybe.
They're playing with me.
They're playing. Playing with Chris's money. Nick is too chill. Nick for a kiss. Welcome. Welcome.
I'm too chill to rage bait. I mean, my friends can rage bait me. They have done it several times.
What are friends for, man? You know?
Nick's dating show name, Nick for a Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Delaying his nightly caviar by 1 hour for the plebs. I try to keep it. We try to keep it within an hour. You know, Nick and I was like, all right, let's see if we can do it with an hour. Then I can go eat dinner, and then it's always like an hour and a half or 2 hours, many times. But well, we'll give it another try, huh? You request Bass Pro game hat. I got a Bass Pro shop hat. I can throw that on later. Maybe we'll do that.
What pairs, Nick, watching? Probably the I don't know what's a pairs trade these days. I'm not watching any pairs.
Wait, like the fruit? Or what do you?
Yes, pairs.
Oh, you mean like trading instruments, right?
Yes.
A pair. Oh, I've never traded. You guys traded currency before?
Yeah.
Only for the
2023,
competition.
I had the yen and the euro. It was not fun. It was literally like, all right, I might as well let this trade bake for like 2 hours. And then you get like, for me, it was like 1.5 R at best. So it was just so slow. I had everything up.
Which way are you trading, Jeff? Maybe it feels that way because you're going long in a move lower in a downtrend day. I mean, it is choppy, but the trend is down.
What up? What up? Says Anthony Strictly Secret 7675. That's a burner handle if I've ever seen one. You on your burner? Accidentally logged in. Goyle, come on. Yeah, Nick is he's always absorbing. I know nothing. You're a smart man. Nick is always absorbing. Nothing gets past Nick or production.
It's very true. I am too powerful.
You want NT merch? It's out there. It's just not for sale, but it's out there. You're just uncreative with nicknames. Hey, I respect that. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple. You think John Wick is scared of spiders? I mean, there's no MGI on that, right? We've never seen bugs in a John Wick movie, so
This
too
is true.
speculative. Too speculative. The consistent one, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that in that much of detail here because this is a whole different show. But just go follow Nick on Twitter. Any questions? Just go follow
We're
Nick on
long
Twitter.
off 7,600.
Where is
We're at 7612.
For what?
Right before it
back
started
to 46?
We're at 7587. Was that low day?
They're still just
Yeah, you guys want free merch? Gotta enter.
trying
Yeah,
to
those
bait.
trades were fine, Jeff.
You guys are full-time traders, right? How do you deal with a bad month?
Trust your edge.
It comes in stages, I guess. You're never going to deal with it great off the bat. You get more comfortable with dealing with the losing streaks or losing days and not letting it really affect you, knowing it's just part of expectancy in this game.
I think it helps a lot if you stay diligent on doing what you're supposed to and not the things outside of it. When you say you have a bad month, it's way easier to live with and accept because that's just the variance in the system, which you should already trust to have edge. But it's when you're constantly doing things outside of that scope, things you're not supposed to be doing, that's when bad months are really hard to stomach because you don't know what's what at that point, right? It gets really shaky, everything's shaky. But if you just follow what you're supposed to do and not the other stuff, it will become much easier to stomach a bad day, a bad week, a bad month. Because at the end, there is positive expectancy in what you're doing. Nick for a tilt. Are they about to dump it?
Probably.
Nick
That's why
can't
I was
tell. He's
wondering
tilted.
where the
I'm
spot
gonna
was
get
back at like
my
43s.
4R here at 178. I'll add to their answers. I did mine. I looked at it that way on losing month a little bit different. I was always fascinated with multi-strat funds, so I said, why can't I create that within my own household portfolio? So I created different strategies for different balances and risk tolerances. So if I have a bad month in one strategy, my other strategies are keeping me afloat. So I have a swing trading account, I have a longer term account, I have 3 day trading strategies. One is systematic, 2 are discretionary. One is a strictly day trading strategy. One is a 1 to 3 day hold. And so if I approach it through a multi-strat filter, I'm able to minimize drawdowns and stay afloat during months that are bad for one strategy, but great for the others. Man, it hit 2.5 points from my TP.
Oh, it'll get there. It ain't done yet. They are definitely not done. My look back is 10 bars, Charles.
I'm the DEI Druckenmiller.
Hey, man, dude.
Come on, give it to me.
Yeah,
Like this
strictly
IB
secret.
strat. I've been saying it all day. It's systematic. The first 2 weeks of the market was really choppy. I was on a drawdown. I recovered the drawdown in the last 2 days, with just 2 days.
For a week
So
of drawdown, you said?
no, for the I was on a drawdown for the strategy this month, and in the last 2 days I recovered the drawdown.
Oh, yeah, so like 2 weeks ish. Covered it in 2 days. Yeah, that'll make it easier, guys. He's just following the system. He knows it has positive,
Yeah, pretty much what
expectancies
you
and
said.
Makes it easier to live with when you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and not what you're not supposed to be. When you do all the other things, oh man, it kills everything. It kills your confidence. It's hard to track what's really going wrong. Is it just negative variance taking effect, like bad variance, or is it something else fundamental, foundational to the strategy, and then you just go crazy? Two-way tape is killer. I don't know. Tape is pretty one way
All
for
right,
a
there we
while
go.
now.
I got 4R exit, and now I'm looking for 5.5R, which is at 29,101.
Yep. So going back to the 1 hour, guys, we mentioned the build. Are they going to reject the prior one and then continue to build in the lower one and then build even lower? And this is kind of what we're seeing right now. They did come up here. It was this bounce, rejected this one, came back to this one, built it out more, and now they're looking to build even further to continue this. So this is good for anyone that's looking for increased or extended downsides. Still think 120 can easily trade here.
My
Definitely.
entry was at 378. I was a few points late. The entry should have been at 83. So I'm about 5 points late just because I was setting up the orders. Yeah, so I'm up right now 200 points. But I don't really look at it as points. I'm just looking at, do I reach my R targets or not? And now I can move my stop to break even after 4R gets hit and then continue trailing or close that end of day. That's the other rule.
Ooh, mini sim. That is a loaded question because there's so many inputs. Simple market structure can get you there for sure. I think that's the foundation first. You've got to have a good handle on market structure. So get into that. Could be price action, could be a volume profile, but market structure first. And then from there, you can maybe add like EMAs if you want and stuff like that. But it's market structure first. Who's getting continuation? Which side is getting continuation and which side isn't? I don't want to say it's simple, but in a way, it's that simple. You know?
130 EST break of IB lower. No, the entry was the break of the 9 MA higher low, which was at 9, 10, 1158. Right. For the arrows. Right here. So my entry was right here. That was the 9 MA higher low that fell. I know it's tricky here and it's choppy, but there are rules in place to tell me where to get long, short in this. And we were below the daily 9 MA, which, as you guys know, is my trends filter. So it's looking for shorts. I did take an earlier short in the morning here that got stopped out. And then there's a 2 trade rule limit. So I placed it again when it's set up again. And then that one is doing well.
Oh, wonderful. Multiple explosions heard on Iran's, I can't pronounce that name, city.
Yeah, that's not sounding good.
Went from peace talk tape to war headline tape.
How do you guys better identify the environment markets are in? Like if it's going to be a trend or chop day, or how do you view this? One way that I view this is that if we remain inside the IB, then we're probably in a balance or chop day. And if we can hold the break above or below the IB edges, then we'll probably continue trending unless it's like a sweep and then we move back in. I feel like that's one of the easiest ways to know. Do we trend above? It's pretty simple. You have your morning high, your morning low. Do we trend above that or below that or not? If we don't, then we're going to stay inside the morning high, morning low, and that's going to be a mean reversion environment until the opposite happens. Yeah, they didn't play the song Bahamas.
Oh, M period stat is in play. Yeah, that is true. Good for
Man, dude,
Chris.
a lot of people in my group have tried making it into an automatic strategy, and they cannot because of, I don't want to say the rules are complex, but there's certain sequence of events that need to happen that they have not been able to have an algorithm engage in the same way and take trades in the same way.
I mean, the thing is, man, dude, he can cook though. He a 2 Michelin star chef on this thing. I I could tell you that much. He can definitely cook. What is this anyway? 9 EMA rules. Interesting. What is this? What's the rule?
What is the M period stat? L period low of the day or high of the day would mean a high likelihood of having an M period low or high of the day.
Oh, you're talking, Amanda, you're talking about the 9 EMA rules, the sequence, right? The trend structure around it. Yeah, go ahead.
What is it though? What is the rule?
It's just the sequence of the trend structure around the 9 period moving average of a lower low, lower high, and then in an uptrend higher high, higher low, and then how
Oh,
it transitions from up or downtrend to flat. Like it's very hard to, like, you have your indicators that can plot a lower high and a lower low, but those are usually swing uh
just swing
swing
points.
low, swing highs. But like the in between sort of movements, it's very hard for the program to identify the
It's a lot of
correct.
variables because
Yeah.
the EMA it has to track a slope too, right? What's considered a good slope or yeah, that's a lot. But hey, like I said, he 2 Michelin star, so hoping for a deep retracement to 27,140. Jeez.
Shouldn't close my short then, huh?
120's on the menu? 120's on the menu. Yeah,
Oh yeah, we're going
absolutely.
at
Absolutely.
0.60s. I think we get to 0.60s.
I could see it.
Close to market. Close to
Close to market,
market.
close to market. Don't buy, don't buy.
Don't buy. Don't buy.
Back to generational low 140s. We'll never see it again. We will never see that again. Your grandkids are going to ask you about that level.
Hmm. I mean, I did have this like it was like 157 spot, an options thing, like right here, like 156.
Come on down to the Price is Right.
I bid $1. I got bids at $1.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Oh, I don't know. It was that kind of segment.
Yeah, it's a little wacky today. It's a little wacky today. You know, the market's got everyone going crazy.
Oh man.
I was like, is it going to be that version? Is it? Do you have or watch certain ATR numbers to give you idea on what's happening? Do I? No, I don't look for certain numbers. I just see what the number is, and I'll go from there. What's the range on the day then? What
Jesus,
kind of
Google.
pace?
Oh man.
Yeah,
Funny.
there's no certain number that. Don't read too much into this ATR thing, is what I'm saying. Unless it's another strategy surrounding ATR, which is not mine. That's different. But for me, it's just a temperature check. It's a just trying it out, but not sure how to read it. Yeah, you got to give it time. Like everything else, give it time, and then you'll start to develop like the intuition behind it, which is like, okay, well, every time it's this number, it's like this, and every time it's like that, it's like that. You just got to give it time. You might even end up using it in a different way. That happened to me a lot with different indicators or strategies. It's taught this way, but then as I use it, I'm like, I actually prefer to use it this way, or this is what I notice with it, and this is what I do with it, which is nothing like what was portrayed in the beginning. So that's a possibility too. You might find something else within it.
Really trying to buy this, aren't they?
They always are. The bid's always out there.
I'm gonna try to buy one, which probably means it's gonna go to zero.
The bid is always out
I
there.
think we see a reaction at 060s.
Yeah.
That's a big, from what I look at, that's a big area.
Nope. Take me out.
Don't worry, Nick. He's talking about 30,000 060. Don't
No,
worry. Don't worry.
25,000 060.
Oh,
Put a-
oh,
put a
shit.
bid
Oh,
there.
wait. Turn around. Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse
Oh,
there.
no, Terry.
There you go, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Oh, man.
Iconic. What is you doing? I have 5 cons limit at Nick's stop. Congratulations on your winning trade.
Yeah. Tell me what the Lambo life is like.
Yeah, congratulations.
All right, I have my second target at 5.5 R, but I moved it to 6 R because I think it'll hit. It's at 29,075. Maybe I do 1 and 1, huh? 1 at 5.5 R. And then 1 at 6 R.
$120s.
It wants it.
It's only
Sell
right.
it.
It's
Sell
only
it.
right. It's only right. Look at that lean back. Prior week low, the price is right. What price is it actually? It's 28.908
Lower.
ish. 28.98.
Lower. Yeah, it's like 900 basically. It failed. I need you to take another entry, Nick.
The only way I can keep revenge trading is if you revenge trade too.
Yeah, no.
So do it.
I was trying to jump on with the buyers that looked like they were trying to do something, but they died. They're off. They're gone.
See you, man, dude. Yeah, I mean, check it out, guys. Check it out. It's really thin right here. Yeah. So that's why this was pretty important. If they're trading under this, the volume thins out pretty heavy here. And this is the last notch, right? Right under the 170s, and it thins out pretty heavy. So that tells me that there just wasn't much interest to really deal this range. And if it gets back into it, you could see the same. And now it's just sliding. Again, here's the profile that we're referencing for this. Right. Most of it's up here. Then it thins out pretty considerably if you compare it to all the profiles. Right. Super thin. So it can move through.
Shit, what the fudge did I just do? How do I go back? What the hell? Oh, there you go. I had no idea what I just did, guys.
Is 120s yet? Yeah. 117 is gotta trade.
Give it to me.
117.
No, I'm telling you, 060s is coming.
30,000 060, right?
I'm DCAing, okay?
Trust me, it's gonna work out.
1 micro every day from now on until August.
Yeah, Chi-Town, it was I just didn't want to get entries here, right? The plan is playing out, it's all good, but where would I have to participate? I don't like it. And then even if it were to work, it'd probably be a tough manage because it's so slow, super slow. That's not the best condition for selling, right? That's conditions for drifting back up. The ATR was pretty low. All those things factoring in make me already believe, regardless of right or wrong, it will definitely be an unpleasant experience getting a position at this area here. So instantly you think, hey, you know what? There are way better days and environments to participate in. Just because this is the only one that's available doesn't mean I have to do anything. So easy choice, easy choice. It'd be a lot better if I can participate closer to the zone, like up here, low volume area, all that. But was not the case. Was not the case. So it is what it is. I didn't turn on my charts until way too late. They traded literally
Yeah.
1 point lower than 120.
Come on, guys. What Tracy's saying here. Come on. What are the likes? 158 likes?
150. Oh, man.
Listen, at least put up all these likes for
Dude.
next show here.
We went through the dating show. We went through all kinds of stuff.
Come on. Don't play yourself, guys.
Don't never play yourself. Never that. Congratulations. You played yourself.
guys, I don't want to beg for the likes, but please, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The ghost of Salma.
Trust me, she'll show up randomly out of nowhere. I'm just here for developing your coding with Nick. Wrong show. Fortunately. I mean, as far as trading related stuff, guys, it's just having out of the box ideas that don't sound stupid, trying to test them out in controlled environments, and just having data sources to pull from. That's really all AI is with trading.
All right, so now it's the M period stat, right? Made that new low, so it makes another low. That's how it works?
What is it? 68% of the time it works every time.
Right. So, hey, slope to 90 MA. Tempting. It's tempting to get short here for a new low, but I'll save it for tomorrow. I'm on with Chris tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah, we'll trade it back up.
Yeah, DEI Friday, baby.
Josh, I think you're supposed to give that as feedback to Stowe for vibe check. So his AI that's built into it just tells you suck more when you add your trades to it. I think that's a missing feature.
That's
Give
the
him that
premium.
feedback.
Premium plus. It's so funny when people type no, but in the Australian accent, and it becomes nar.
No.
Nar. Ooh, there it is. Stat fulfilled. Oh, Cooper, you see the mug. Huh? You see the mug. That's not a knife. Yeah, Cooper, I know you see the mug. Stat Williams, Sonoma. Gold, gold, gold still.
Thanks, Carmel. Carmel.
Could be an interesting
One of those.
interesting Globex for gold. Might get dicey. Is it a custom hat or a team? No, it's just a hat I got served on Instagram. Served me an ad.
No, they get you.
Yeah, yeah. I friggin' got served this Michael Jackson shirt. You guys ever see that Keanu Reeves meme where he's like iced out grills with the watch? Um, Obviously it's a fake photo, but they made a Michael Jackson version and I had to buy it. I had to cop it. And then it was a buy three, get a fourth shirt free. So I did the reasonable thing. I bought three so that I can get a free shirt.
Oh, come on. It's not going to give me the next target here. Come on, guys. W in the chat for this trade. I need more W's so I can hit my
W's.
targets, please.
He needs W's for the R's.
The more likes, the more R's I can make. L. Morford, you know what? You can see your way out. Oh, it's working. Come on.
Hey, you got an L. What's Morford? What's
Yeah,
going
kick
on?
him out, guys. Block him.
Morford, what's going on? Oh, he said. Are we at 300 likes yet?
Come on. One more rejection. Just one more.
Chris is a pirate. Yep. Big pirate stream. Do you guys implement heat maps? I don't use heat maps.
Nope.
It's all about what's getting filled, not about what's sitting somewhere for me.
I do not use heat maps. I just look at candles. Boring.
Big candles guy.
Mm-hmm.
And squiggly lines.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Old
Candles
school.
and squigglies. How much money to promote Bookmap? Bro, I do it for $50. Shoot me $50.
Panda Express Catering. And he'll do it.
Nah, price is too high. Do you think today's market complexity was due to Netflix's earnings report? Well, that is way too
Pablo.
big brain for
Oh,
me.
Pablo,
What?
you gotta break it down.
Pablo. When my brain develops a fold, I will let you know.
I don't. Maybe just me. I don't think Netflix is actively moving the market, even the day
Yeah,
of its
Netflix
earnings.
hasn't done anything in months.
He just walked over to the kids' table and gave us some adult speak. But now Jim did mention that we are preemptively seeing the effects of the largest expiry of all time taking place tomorrow. So it's a possibility. The whys don't really matter to me. It's what's currently happening, and if I hate it, I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
What are you looking for, Chris?
101 and 75.
Wait, I thought you had 060s at some point on a
Well,
target.
that's the main zone target, but I have to stick to
Oh,
the R targets for the strategy.
I see. Got it. Got it. Got it. So what do you
Chris,
guys think about these lows?
I
I'm gonna
hope you
just
go
go to the
lower.
magic box.
Is this what you guys call a poor low?
This is poverty low.
So that means we'll come
Extreme
back to it,
poverty.
huh? Maybe over the next week.
I would think within today.
Oh.
This is like straight poverty low.
We do have a little S&P
This low is
here.
literally asking me for money as I look at it.
Chris, I'm trying the IB strat after back testing it with rules based on yours. I took entry at 10:50 Eastern time. That is what, 7:50 my time. I took a 10:50 on 5-minute candle breakdown after that lower high. Does it look like you take it there? Why? Cedric, you don't have all of my rules, so I would not say that I just would be careful in trading what I've shared on here because it's not the full rules. You have a good idea of it. Your entry is somewhat okay because it's at the break of that little consolidation, and your entry was at 1050. If I was trading the setup on the 5-minute, my entry would have been at the candle break of 1035, not 1050. Because that's the last 9 MA higher low, and therefore that is what you're short. Oh, but you know what? On the 5-minute, one of my rules of engagement did not get met, so I would not have taken it there. So it worked for you today, right? But I have a specific rule where I don't take shorts into the highs like that because we can easily form acceptance at highs and then break out higher, and then that would be an unnecessary stop. My entry was at 9, 10, 11, 12 p.m. Eastern. Does NinjaTrader have a Discord? They will in a week, guys. So make
XY
sure
has volunteered
join.
all of his extra time to be the main moderator.
Hell no.
He will be a mentor inside there.
You can apply for his future mentorship in there exclusively. No.
One-on-one.
Yeah, it's private
Open
via
for the
DM.
first 10,000 signups. One-on-one.
And it's going to be like 5 years of your life.
No, he would just have me build a XY bot that just recites all of his mannerisms via text.
His typical response, how many Panda Express are you risking?
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah. More than you can afford, pal. Walnut shrimp. Hey, you can put heart emojis on a chat. Ooh.
Oh, you guys can get a chance to be a Discord mod. I did not know that.
Huh?
So sign up, guys.
Wait, it can't just be like a
you have to
contest
do
winner, right?
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 pull-ups.
100 hours of HR videos.
You have to backtest 200 hours.
Back test what you just learned in the HR videos. Yes, the Goyle package. That's not out yet. That's not out yet.
That is actually one of the requirements to become a moderator. You have to know how to backtest on Goyle.
That's the secret Discord, not the one coming out. Mm-hmm. That's the NT Live Premium Plus Discord to be announced. Prices are pretty good. We're doing price modeling. It's either 10,000 a month or 20,000 for the year. So if you want to try it for just a month.
But he's running an exclusive discount of $2,000 for lifetime access to the first 100 people. So, but I'm only going to open it up for like 12 hours.
My phone number is in it too. So if you sign up fast enough, direct line to me. Direct. Any hour of the day, you got a trade cooking London session. I don't know. Maybe it's 3 a.m. here. Call me. I'll wake up. We'll talk. Very science. Wow. It's probably because it's not open just yet. You guys want to know the funniest thing I just discovered about the Discord? Right now, I'm not able to chat. It's not letting me because it says my per server profile contains words that are not allowed in there. And I'm like, oh, what's that? It's just like, oh, update your thing. I'm like, what could it be? And the word that's not allowed is in my nickname. And my nickname is my handle. So I'm effectively banned without being banned, as I said in the Discord. So that's cool. That's cool. Come check me out, guys. If you guys say all the you can say all the mean things to me and I can't even respond. So yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. For free.
Oh, there we go. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
There's M period stat has been satisfied.
No, it already was, right? Yeah.
Oh, I guess yeah, technically it was by like a tick.
Like a tick.
What? Who? Why?
Give it to me.
All right. All right.
I like to use Tradeovate for my IB strat, Frida bad, because I'm just trading multiple different accounts and it's fast.
Yeah, I'm just kidding about the premium Discord thing that it doesn't exist. It never will. So don't worry about that.
Give me 5.5 R here. Mm, 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 mm.
Are we being facetious about the premium Discord? Yes, unfortunately we are. Just a
Yeah.
running bit.
Fortunately, actually,
years.
fortunately we are. You guys don't want a premium Discord, man.
There is nothing premium value that I could actually bring you guys that I
Yeah.
don't bring you every single day.
You guys don't want a premium Discord from us because we cannot give you anything premium.
You're in the premium Discord, the YouTube chat currently.
Actually,
all
yes.
It's about all I can offer you. Because you get everything here. You get trading, you get the smoking recipes, you get life advice and perspective. You literally get it all. The only thing missing is
Gosh.
Pepe emojis.
Josh, go get a refund, man. I don't know where you are. That's a lot of
All
fart
right.
coin.
I took some off at 5.5 R, and then I have the last partial set for 6 R at 0.75, which looks like it's cometh.
Melting.
Chris, if that was your stop, would I have hinted yesterday? I don't know what you mean by that.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
If this was my stop, if what was my stop?
If you guys do launch one, it's an easy 200K a month for you guys. No, it's not. It's not easy because we have to show up to stuff on time and like actually do things on a schedule.
I'd have to
and,
trade all day in front of people every day.
You know, Nick only fires off 1 or 2 trades a year. It's a lot. It's not an easy 200K. You know, it requires some work, some commitment, obligations. Obligations. Who wants that? And then if you don't give someone's perceived value, they'll just be like, this Discord sucks. You're a scammer. I hate you. And I'm going to tell everybody and all that stuff. And that's not worth any kind of money.
We've given away a lot of stuff for free and people are still not happy. So imagine if people actually paid for some things.
Yeah. Yeah, we would just be dead.
Come
But
on.
like Tracy said, this is the ultimate premium channel and it's free. You guys can say all the mean things you want to us too. It's all
Give it
good.
to me. And once that, I'm telling you, once that 0.60s area, it's cometh.
You saying I should slap on like 25 lots right now?
Thanks, guys. Runners on 300 points here.
Nice trade, man. So you pretty much have held this for 5 hours? No, 7. It's gonna be 6 hours.
Yeah. It's doing what it's supposed to be. Capture that day's expansion move.
The chat wants free
Attention
stuff with
traders,
return policy.
it's algo time.
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's actually what it is. They want free stuff, but with a return policy.
They want like a time machine built into it. Oh,
Algo
Ooh.
time.
You said what? 07?
060s.
Oh,
that
060.
went right to the
No, but
magic
you covered
box.
at 07 something, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's 75.
Oh.
No, 95.
Hmm.
I still have one more partial for 75 to see if I get 6R. But my trade's pretty much done. It was a good day.
300 points. I'd say it's decent. It's not too bad.
It's all right. I can do better, guys. I promise.
Yeah, you know what? Next time, hey, how about you come tomorrow ready to trade, huh?
I promise, Chad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, how about you come
I will be
tomorrow
better.
serious? Dave M79, thank you. Please hit the like.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed yourself this afternoon, hit the like. If you didn't, hit the like.
Hit the like, please. Please hit the like if you didn't.
Hey, too strong of a bounce. All right, my day is done. Good job,
Nice
guys.
job, sir.
No, that's not the right time. It's only when he hits a stop. It's funny because you were sitting in that trade for a while too, and then it finally hits the stop and they play that. Top 10 moment for me.
Lots of hate selling. I feel like there's been some hate selling today for sure.
All right, day's done. Time to journal.
Dear diary, I made 6R again.
Dear diary. How'd you guys do today? Hopefully, wrote some shorts.
Chat, you guys printing today? I hope so,
Yes.
because if you're not, it's painful.
Just sending it. All of those option shenanigans, apparently.
So guys, I smashed the dislike because XYZ has that look of I eat crayons. No other reason.
It's a rare insult right there.
Nice job, Kat.
Like a sentence I never thought I'd hear. But welcome. Please hit the like instead next time.
How many days a month do you get these kind of days on average? Let me help you rephrase that question, because that can only be based on the objective that you've created the strategy on. Is it a mean reversion question or is it a trend following question? So only during trending periods would I achieve this kind of performance. So I can't say that on average these many days during the month, because that will be dictated by the environment, right? For example, for April and May, we pretty much went straight up. I had astronomical days of 6R back to back to back to back to back. And that's an outlying event, right? I can't say that's going to be my average monthly. And then what happened in June? In June, I had very little full 6R days because we were in a range, right? So I think what you sort of want to say is, based on the environment, what is the average 6R day during that trending periods, right? That's what I'd rather focus on.
Darian, that's quite a bar, by the way.
Yeah, you guys were eager to buy this, huh?
Fattest day on TPT. Ooh, okay.
You just started trading futures, and this is your first profitable month. Fantastic.
I thought he was more of a pace guy myself. Well, I can eat both. I have a balanced diet. Sometimes it's crayons, sometimes it's paste. All part of a healthy, balanced breakfast. Netflix earnings in a few minutes. Yeah. Who cares about that? We've got Develop Your Edge with Nick. All right.
Listen, if you got short at 5.5R looking for 6R, I don't know what to tell you, okay?
But what is it? What is it? What do you think? What do you think about that?
Oh, man. That is funny. What's your favorite flavor of crayon?
He likes the yellow kind.
Nah, I like a little omakase, you know. Omakase crayons.
Hey guys,
Jim.
what a day, huh?
What a day.
Yeah, just short and chill.
Yeah. I just got to say, I'm looking at this Mentor Cube put support level at 75.50 in the S&P. It took all day, but we got there. And once we got there, boom, blast off 22 handles, like in one candle. Crazy. On that note, we are going to hit Fabio from Mentor Q on the show tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Nice.
Everybody flat?
Yes.
Mhm.
Very, very awesome. While I'm at it tomorrow morning, remember we have Blake Morrow is going to join me and Shy Girl right off the bat. Fabio from Mentor Q then is going to be with us, and he's going to show us his latest and greatest. I've already seen it, and it's super cool. Pax is going to join us for Capital Preservation Friday, and then two of these three guys are going to be back to trade the open. XYZ and Christian are going to be here tomorrow morning. You don't want to miss that. And then they're going to be joined by Lumi and Stowe. And we're going all the way to 1 o'clock, so we have a full day tomorrow. Options expiration. We already saw a lot of fireworks today, so maybe we'll have some more tomorrow.
Hope it's a little better.
Man, oh man, oh man. In any event, are you guys taking a long weekend, or are you going to be trading tomorrow?
Well, two of us will be on tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's right. What's the matter with me?
senior moment.
You know what?
Moment.
I'm just too excited for the next segment, by the way. I'm just counting down the seconds. Counting down the seconds. So, all right. So, Christian just committed to making a trade tomorrow morning on the open.
He said he'll do
Yeah.
better tomorrow than he did today.
Really?
Promise I'll do better,
Yeah,
guys.
today was an off day for him, he said.
Yeah.
I told him, look, stop playing around. Come tomorrow. Come ready to trade tomorrow. Let's get serious.
Oh, man. In any event, you guys did a great job today. Appreciate you as usual. Let's give these guys a round of applause, please, for a job well done. All right, chat. Are you ready? It is. Well, let's wait for 24 seconds here to see what happens on the final print. Final print here. Hang on a
It's a
second.
nice, it's a nice reversal here.
Nice
Jeez.
bounce. Look at
Right off that spot
Look-
too. That
wow.
that.
Look at
That
that go.
OPEX.
Gonna reclaim all of this range in
probably. And now we're
2
gonna go
minutes.
rotate to the other side and probably close around 30,000 again. Because why wouldn't we?
Well, Chris said all we're gonna
Wow.
do tomorrow is buy it up. So
Probably.
I'm ready.
We're at literally the bottom of balance.
man. ES just closed just a tad above that high vol put support level at 75, 75. Again, crazy levels. In any event, thanks again, gentlemen. Appreciate you for sure, because right now it is about that time for Develop Your Edge with Nick4ATick. Nick, appreciate you doing this for us. I know it's been a long day, man, but we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. I'm going to be doing more stuff later. So, this is just part of my life now. We stream, we trade, we have some fun, and the day really never ends for me, it seems.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know what? When you're doing something you love and you have passion for, then it's rewarding, right?
100%. 100%.
All right, awesome. All right, so as usual in these Develop Your Edge segments, we're going to take questions as we go. So Nick is going to do his thing. I'll be focusing on the questions. I'll accumulate some as we go, because my guess is he's going to cover some of them before we get to the question. But don't be shy, get him in there, and if I miss something, be a squeaky wheel, cut and paste it in there again, and I'll make sure that I grab it. So again, everybody, thank you for being here with us for Develop Your Edge. Nick, we are ready for you, man.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys asking me to do this. I don't know. I feel like my strategy, the way I kind of trade, there's nothing revolutionary here. I think I've made that abundantly clear over time. I think a lot of us don't have anything that's like insane, crazy strategies that are hard to navigate or potentially implement in part of your game plans for the day. But if you've never really actively seen me trade, or you never had watched, I guess when I was hosting the Sunday Open way back when I was just shouting into the void alone, we talked a lot about this stuff. We talked a lot about how I kind of frame my logic and reasoning to coming into any given session, any given week, is purely just based on what we've kind of done before, which also perfectly lines up to why you might hear me say I tend to struggle at new all-time highs, and us just continuing to not have previous structure to base a lot of things off of. Well, that's because my entire strategy is really based off market structure and previous weeks and previous sessions. Most of what I do as far as looking for areas to enter trades is all about framing from previous sessions, from previous weeks, previous months, and that previous volume profile structure to find those areas that I'm interested in engaging, or that might make sense to watch the order flow a little more closely. So it's a combination of those two things. It always has been. It's looking at things on the higher time frame. So for example, when I'm coming into any given week, like I said, if you ever watched me do my week prep, you saw this exact chart, which is just a week by week volume profile. So you'll have the previous week, or the current week, what we're seeing right here, just start to build in real time as the 1 hour candles are printing. You'll see the volume profile start to fill out. And I like to have them just continue to stack, because over time you get a situation like we have right now, which is we're basically just in a large 1,000-point balance, for example, in NQ. And just having that in the back of your mind, even if you're trading on a very short time frame, 5 minute, 1 minute, like some people do, knowing we're just in a large balance like this can keep you out of entering trades, let's say, somewhere around like the 29,600s, where you probably just got chopped up to oblivion if you've been entering in some of these spots over the last few weeks. A lot of volume has traded there. That's where majority of the value is in this larger balance we are in. But even if you're Nick, a short time trader, sorry.
Nick, that's okay. If I could just interrupt you here. So there's going to be some folks that are new here today. So let's just do a little chart anatomy. It looks like you have 6 days up on the chart. These are candle charts. And then you have 6 daily volume profiles that are on the left side, and then on the right side is today.
So this is actually weeklies.
Okay.
So these are all weekly volume profiles with sorry, with 1 hour candles. And basically the balance someone just asked, like the balance that we are operating in is pretty much this 29,000, basically this box that's kind of drawn here. That would be like the complete full one because it would take into account the bottom edges of some of these profiles that are up a little higher at the all-time high for NQ. But for the most part, it's like 1,000-point range if we want to just call it, 29,200, which is basically where we were kind of trading today, all the way down to 29,000 even, up to about 30,000. It's just this wide balance. We've been trading in it going back to basically June's rollover pretty much is where we've just been sitting. So just having that framed, even if you are trading like on that short time frame, that 5-minute time frame, now knowing how we ended the session today, heading into OPEX, knowing that things may be a little wonky, knowing that larger players, for example, may be positioned a little differently in the way that we've kind of just been range bound, ping-ponging 1,000 points at a time. It just gives me that logic of coming into the next session of, okay, if I don't see sellers out of the gate in RTH tomorrow, kind of pushing us, or even in the overnight tonight, if we don't see a ton of enthusiasm to trade below 29,000 and kind of leave this balance that we've been in, the logical place for us to go on like an OPEX Friday, as Jim, you said, like one of the largest ones in history, if not the largest probably by tomorrow, the logic would be we could very easily start to then traverse to the other side of this balance. We could settle somewhere in the middle, for example, on NQ. I think my cursor just froze. There we go. Yeah, it's pulling, and my cursor did just freeze there. But knowing that how positioning works and that we just now tested the bottom edge of this balance, and if we don't break it, we're probably going to rotate back to the center of it or where the most volume has traded. So much of that just comes down to how I kind of start to operate and look at areas that I'm interested in engaging with. And if you listen to me when I was coming in to trade the close today, one of the reasons I really wasn't interested in kind of engaging around that 29,200 spot is because we sat there for probably the first 30 minutes or so when we came on the air. We didn't really move. We were kind of just waiting, chopping in that spot. And it basically is because there now my cursor is back. Right here around the 200s, you would see like you have the very bottom of 4 weeks ago almost, back to the middle of June's value area low sitting right here. So all this kind of bottom of this little volume build here. You have the very bottom of that following week's profile kind of right on that same spot. And this node from last week. So you see it goes to basically nothing trading here down to 29,000, but then you see this decent volume build here around basically the very edge of that, or where it ends is pretty much where we stalled towards the beginning of trade the close today. So a no trade zone there for me is just like, this is a spot I really don't want to be making a decision one way or the other. I kind of need to wait and watch and see, are we going to liquidate here like violently, kind of like we did at the end of the day, which I thought we could go a little lower down to, I think we were saying like 29,050s, 29,000 evens even. But what we did is now we're kind of coming back and testing the bottom edge of this, what I would say is the value area, before we make a decision. Are we going to go back to those lows, or are we going to now start to traverse to the other side of this range? Weekly volume profiles, meaning 5 days of volume. Yes, Monday through Friday, or Sunday through the Friday close, technically, is how these are building.
So each one of those profiles that we see on your chart is a week worth of data.
Correct. And a lot of it comes down to what I use as far as MGI. You've heard us talk about things like the weekly open, being the first opening print for Globex on Sunday night, 6 o'clock Eastern time. That first print, a lot of the time for me, is going to be like another piece of MGI but more so that I'm using almost as a pivot, not to a bias, but as an area that I'm watching to see kind of who's going to be initiating or taking control of the auction for that part of the week. Who really steps up there? Is it buyers or sellers? It continues to kind of be that little swing pivot type area. And we saw that, probably twice this week. You saw it, back to 2 days ago, and you saw it part of today's session too. Or yesterday's session, excuse me, where we just kind of sold immediately off from the week open during RTH.
And Nick, when you say MGI, you mean market generated information. How do you define that?
Yes, market generated information. So this could be really anything there's no crazy proprietary thought here. This is volume profile levels, basically information that the market's just giving you. It's just an acronym that we'll use to describe what it is, which is just marketing generated. There's nothing crazy there. It's a point of control. It's the previous day close. It's the overnight high, the overnight low, the previous day's settlement, whatever you want to do or call them. VWAP technically would be a piece of market generated information. All of those is just a lot of the time what I use to kind of define spots or areas that I'm interested to then take my much, I would say, more in-depth view, which is probably what you guys see us doing every single day, which is reading the DOM, watching time and sales, really looking at the auction on a more micro level to then gauge, okay, what is happening at this specific area? So for me, like I said, I wasn't really looking to initiate down here at 200s, but as we got a little lower or as we had a more violent push, if we were to then come back up above 200, that's where do I see sellers stepping back in to reoffer, or on the, kind of shorter time frame order flow, am I suddenly seeing buyers take back control? Am I starting to see a lot more aggressiveness from buyers once we got back over 200? And then can I possibly jump back in with them to the long side now, seeing, okay, we tested the bottom of this balance. Buyers kind of regained control. I want to get on that side because there's a potential for a much wider move, let's say on like the next half a day, full day to the other side of this balance. So much of how I kind of define what I do is purely just based on engaging with or observing the auction in real time at specific spots in the market that I've deemed are relevant. And a lot of that comes down from me looking at things from the longer time frame. And, I know I have these auto plotted. So all of these market generated information type levels here, it printed for me. But before I had that, everything was still being defined the same way. I'm identifying levels, and it could be something like you could strip all of this away, all of these volume profiles, all of these lines, the boxes, and you could still just bring everything back to just basic support and resistance from the bottom edges of these candle bodies and wicks where they all kind of cluster together. That's kind of how I did it before I started actually using things like volume profile, but it was the same type of thing. I could just draw horizontal lines around these like this, or a box even around this 29,300 to 200 spot. The same thing. It's then where I'm kind of watching to see, do we reject off there, knowing that we've basically been trading in that box for a long time.
Got it. Nick, let me ask you, Naughty Fish Trades has a question. So you're not necessarily looking for the initial move, but a return to a level of interest, then see what is responsive, then initiate a trade if favorable?
Yes. Or like a loss of some of these areas. Like this would have been, like I said, the week open trade yesterday was probably a good one where, you have a piece of MGI. It's been tested before. You have a tendency to understand what some of these levels mean, because obviously a reaction that you're going to see at something like a point of control, or like if we looked at, let's say, like the month to date or June's point of control or whatever it is. So we're the most volume traded in June. If we return back to it, there's a likelihood of like indecision from the market, seeing as how much volume traded at that price area. We may stall there. But knowing that the week open, just from historically looking at it and trading off of it and observing it week after week, the Sunday night open, I know it tends to act more as a pivot point of a spot that I can see, okay, if we blast through it to the upside, I should be with buyers, and there's no questions asked there. If we kind of, ping it a few times and stick around, and you're not seeing a lot of enthusiasm from any sort of buyer to kind of initiate above that spot, then I probably should be onto the sell side once we do finally reject it. I wouldn't say I tend to try to call top or bottom with some of these or look for reversals. A lot of the time it's that same thing. If you see initiation above it or below it, you could join along with the side that's kind of pushing towards it. But majority of it just
So Nick, you're not the first one in, not the last one in, but once you're comfortable with direction, then you're going to try to jump in as soon as you can.
Yes. I definitely don't want to be the first idiot to try to short things at the all-time high or at the top edge of a balance range, but that's where the shorter time frame order flow, like visualization, when you're kind of watching these things, when you're seeing like nobody's really lifting the offer anymore, nobody is doing like X, Y, and Z. You're not really seeing any sort of true initiation. In fact, you're actually seeing absorption. Let's say, like you're seeing buyers are continuing to try to press, and they're getting nowhere. There's someone just sitting there, continuing to just eat and accept any and all bids that are coming in. Once I start to see that on something like the, actually, I guess on like a delta profile, for example, for like ES here, like if I'm starting to see all of that absorption start to come in and start to show me on one of these like delta by price looking volume profiles here, or a delta profile as it's also called, that might also give me indication on the shorter time frame to see there's not really any buyers showing up above, let's say, this piece of MGI. In fact, you're seeing sellers continue to kind of sit there and wait and take all they can. And then as the buyers start to like take their foot off the gas, you may see us just start to drift, let's say, below this settlement price, this settlement line here at previous day close. And that's where you might see me start to layer in, or like we came down here and then we retested and we failed like a second time. Like this is after hours and this is a very short time frame chart. So kind of a grain of salt here as it's after hours, but you would see that kind of retest there. And then that might be where my entry comes in. Like we did it once, you had an attempt to start to drift lower, it came back, touched it again. That's probably where I may get in. And I know you see us sometimes jump in very aggressively with some of these reversals at times. That's where like I have a spot marked and I'm looking for a specific reaction. And part of it is, we talked about this too. There's with order flow, and this is, I know I've been talking very much about the long time frame side of it, but when you start to see some of these sequences or it approach certain areas, or things like when it comes to utilizing volume profile, how we behave around areas of lower volume, like value area lows, value area highs, like where that kind of distribution starts to get a little more thin. We don't spend a lot of time in the auction in those spots. So it's almost like you're looking for an immediate reaction. If we approach, I kind of want to see us boost out of there relatively quickly, or it also helps me define if we just kind of push right through that low volume area, it means I was wrong and I have a very quick way to kind of exit. It just gives you that confidence for us, I think, to lean on some very, very tight stops in some of these areas.
Yeah. So Nick, Vape Lord 1391 asks, could you kindly explain in terms of aggressiveness of buyers? What do you mean by that in terms of delta or the DOM or volume profile?
Yep. So this would be kind of seeing that aggression on the DOM, on like the delta profile, on time and sales. As I said, when we kind of go that at bid, at ask, when people are crossing the spread, is where I have my like time and sales is right next to my DOM. And as I'm seeing that start to occur literally on the order book, I also then see it in time and sales, basically flashing and I can make this as caveman simple as I possibly can, because it literally will change the background of the order coming in as like a bright blue or bright red. So I can't miss it. And when I see those just start to flash, even if they're ones and twos on ES or NQ, as you're seeing all of those start to hit and you're seeing that in conjunction with what you're seeing on the DOM, that's kind of what I would define as aggressiveness. Or if I see that happening, let's say from buyers and price is not going higher, that's where you start to see things like icebergs. That's where you start to see things like that's absorption. That's where there is a large player there on the sell side and they're just sitting and they're continuing to just absorb all of those market orders that are kind of coming in to the buy side, but they don't care. But that's where, for example, like that delta volume profile at a specific price point or a specific price level, you start to see that you probably have seen it. Sorry, I can jump back to it because that'll make more sense. Like you'll start to see one of these numbers here. like the 107, like you would see that just start to grow bigger and bigger and bigger to the sell side or to the buy side. So it just gets bigger red, bigger blue, same thing. I keep it very just visually simple for my brain. I don't have to see the number exactly. I just want to see that big red or blue bar just get bigger, wider, and that number to keep growing so that I know there is a larger player there just continuing to absorb a specific spot. And then when you see them be like this, so you see them more like shaded in gray, that just means there's not a big one side discrepancy at that price point, more or less. It has to get over a certain tier before it kind of changes to the solid color too. So a lot of this that you're kind of seeing, like I find ways to eliminate noise.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you could briefly just explain what delta is for folks that might not know.
Yeah, so it'd be the net of the the buying and selling that occurs at a specific price point. So when there's more buyers or more sellers at a specific level, you would start to see that skew one way or the other. You've probably seen this too. I've showed this, or I've tried to talk about it with the aggressiveness with my volume-based candles too. I think I'm the only one that has them repaint and then has them still be gray. No one else does that. I like it. I think it just keeps my brain. Sorry, let me grab my other chart real quick. Let me refresh that. So this actually makes sense to people as I'm describing it. So the delta there, so the net of the buyers and sellers at a specific price point, which is basically what you would see here with like my delta profile. But for like 500 volume candles, which I don't use time frame candles for my execution chart, I use volume based. And basically when you see them stay red or blue or gray, it means one side's winning, or when they're gray, you're pretty much going to see it's more of a neutral discrepancy. There's no discrepancy. It's a more neutral based 500 candle that's being printed, meaning it's more an even distribution of buyers and sellers for those price points. Nobody was really initiating aggressively one side or the other. It was pretty flat. I have mine skewed probably a little more aggressively than others do. So I really want to see the red candles print like an aggressive sell down and then potentially stall and go something like this. You see them kind of stall at a spot and then it goes neutral. And then you see buyers kind of picking up the pace there too. So you're seeing almost like a visualization of time in sales with these delta candles or delta repainted candles. These are just volume based candles, but that delta that gets repainted is based on a criteria of 500 volume. So like 500 orders coming in is how that each candle gets printed for me. So it just allows me to kind of take the same thing. You got to think about this, I guess, in like the holistic view of the way I execute. So you have the flashing time and sales DOM. You have my delta profile, which does something that kind of identify things like absorption or larger orders that are aggressively sitting at specific price levels. And then you see my candles also reprint. And then obviously I have a similar DOM, not as aggressive or chaotic as I think XYs and STOs might be. Mine's a little more just basic. But all of that kind of working in conjunction is what I really use to, I would say, observe order flow in real time as I am seeing price approach or interacting with a specific level.
Got it. So
hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot, guys. And the thing with, I think, order flow and delta and stuff, like it's hard to explain. It's why we start to try to really dive in, I think, and walk you guys through some of these some of the stuff as it happens or as we are getting into trades. Because it's almost like a muscle memory thing too. It takes a little time for your brain to kind of see what's happening and actually the market kind of validate what you think you're starting to see. And everybody does it a little differently, which is why like this stuff kind of works for me, but you don't see the boys doing the same exact way that I do it. Everyone digests this type of data differently. This is just the way it always functioned better for my brain, is to visualize it with multiple things kind of telling me the same thing in different ways.
So Nick, on this note, ShapeCap33 asks, do you ever look at volume next to the delta to see the absorption? Example, buy delta, but price does not move up and volume accelerates.
I mean, Not, I guess, in the way you're kind of describing. For me, I will see it still just on the specific delta profile. And if one side is being that aggressive is where you'd really see it build out. But then with things like the leg to leg, so I also will have this other volume profile for the current swing that we're on, which from this example during Globex, or not Globex, sorry, during after hours, is basically built from this little swing high here down here. So I would see it in situations like that, where in that current swing leg that's being rebuilt, I may see, a node start to be built based on that exact kind of situation where there's a larger player at one specific price point really inputting a lot of volume and it's aggressive to one side or the other. So I'll see it in both sides, but I very much limit it to that specific swing scenario. Like if that were to show up on like the sessions volume profile here, I don't really have a good way of kind of differentiating that on the shorter time frame. It's going to get lost somewhere in my sessions volume profile. So that's just the way I've always liked to look at it. And it works for me.
Yeah. So Nick, is that volume, the inner volume profile, the smaller one, is it anchored the same way someone might like anchor a fib or something like that?
It can be. So if you guys have heard PAX talks about the 65 handle rotations in NQ. So I've run so much data to kind of find like the best average rotation for NQ on like a rolling 20-day basis. It still is within like 5 points historically for what PAX has apparently been using as a rotation number forever. So I stopped trying to change it or moving it to like what the average of 20 days is. For me, it's just always going to be rebuilding this based on every kind of new 65-point rotation that NQ starts to go. ES, I have it a little lower, somewhere between 7 and 10, depending on how volatile things are doing, is how I have it rebuilt. So if the direction changes within that 65 points, you'll see a new one of these start to print. So the volume profile and the delta profile, it's the exact same rotation of 65 points for when it actually will repaint and like stop and re-anchor. I don't have the anchored VWAP tied onto this, but it works that same way. It starts from a swing high to a swing low, and it goes roughly 65 points unless that next swing high is like the same direction, in which you might see that too, where we just have a very large like secondary volume or delta profile that's built, kind of working in conjunction with that kind of next rotation, even if it's in the same direction.
No, that's slick. That's slick. A couple of questions, relatively generically about time and sales. You want to talk a little bit about time and sales?
Sure. How are you looking at time and sales? Just if number goes up or down after a stop run or something like that? Is that more to it? Yeah. So for me, it has nothing to do with that. The only other time I could see that kind of scenario playing out is there's something else that I have an indicator for that does the same thing. So you might see that type of market order puke looking thing on time and sales where same thing. You would see a lot of like orders come in like across the spread. And for me, they would flash, a bunch of orders in bright red, bright blue, and you can't miss it when it happens. The good news is, thanks to the lovely folks at OFL, they have that down to a science with things like this little bubble that prints during something like that happening. So you would see a large amount of like aggressive orders, like in that case, to the sell side. And a lot of the time it indicates something like that, like a stop run, as some people like to call it, but aggressive orders coming in, one-sided like that. And a lot of the time you'll see them at a temporary, like rotational low or high or a swing low or high. So on time and sales, you would see that if you have it set up that way, like I do when somebody crosses the spread, I see it that same exact way in any given scenario. So you could see it with aggressive buying coming in. It doesn't have to be on a stop run. You could just see them continuing to cross the spread, like lift the ask, and prices moving higher. So it would work in that same situation, but I wouldn't necessarily call that a stop run. For me, it just shows an aggressive buyer or seller, which when people get stopped out and a bunch of market orders come in like that at a swing low or swing high, it kind of will look. Am I back?
You're back, Nick.
Okay. I don't know where I lost everybody.
You were
But
just
those-
gone for literally like 5 seconds, 10 seconds.
Okay. So what I was saying is when like those market orders come in, let's say as what you would call a stop run, what you're actually seeing is what something we would call, instead of a stop run, it's more like an exhaustive push by sellers, because there may also be sellers kind of pressing into that, stop a bunch of people out, and then kind of take their foot off the gas. So it's almost like an exhaustive move. That is what you would also kind of see on time and sales. So the exhaustion in the different way that you might see absorption. You kind of see a bunch of aggressive orders and then everybody like leaves the building. And same thing, you can kind of see it on time and sales. You can see it on the DOM. You can see it on the Delta profile, usually, if you know what you're kind of looking for and you understand spots that those things could possibly happen. And that's where things like MGI, or for me, having areas that I'm interested in engaging with and paying attention at those levels for certain situations that you could expect. For example, like if you go back to the longer time frame chart, same thing. Like us coming to like the bottom edge of this balance, possibly going to, make a new wick low on something like that, is where you may see we're heading to, we may take out a previous day's, the overnight low or the previous day's high. You may see something very similar that you would see in that like exhaustive move where we press above it, we take that level out, and then we kind of rotate back inside of like the day's range or inside initial balance. Like you see all of these things depending on the type of market generated information that's important to you. Like a lot of the guys I think on the show, people talk about the initial balance. Like it's the same thing. It just, that's your I guess your time horizon that you're looking at for that MGI is just the first hour candle. But the market can still behave that exact same way. You could find people coming in and absorbing at that IB high. We could violently take it out, stop out everybody that was short, let's say above the IB high, fall back into range. And then once we kind of return to it, you see that exhausted push higher, and that may fail. That's kind of, I think, why we do trade, like IB failures a lot. That's why that works. That's why you sometimes play like what we would call like a D-shaped volume profile. As some people like to say, Jim, you like to use the term the Gaussian distribution play, where as we get towards the edges of that volume profile, the value area high, value area low, same thing. You may see like an exhausted push towards the outer edges of it, but once we kind of lose the enthusiasm to trade outside it and fall back into like the value area is where suddenly you may have seen that exhaustive push, the exhaustion, the absorption, and now we're going to return back to like the point of control or the center of balance, whatever it may be. But it all kind of will behave very similar to that on time and sales. Exhaustion, stop runs, things like that kind of look very similar. Just a lot of market orders coming in very quickly, and then suddenly they stop to that one side. And then once they find buyers ready, let's say ready to step back in, or sellers ready to step back in, we may get that, kind of reversal that you see off those type of exhaustive moves.
And Nick, in those events, could it be a question of, is this just a pause, or is just a complete reversal?
That's a good question. It really depends on the type of session, what we may be, for me, it'd be something like looking at what the session's volume profile is telling us. Something like VWAP is great to identify, let's look at the slope of it sometimes. If you have a very flat one and you see a relatively balanced volume profile for the session, and we're coming into like the Euro close and we take out, an edge of it and we kind of fall back in, there's a good indication that we just may be balancing. We may go rotate to the other side of value. On a day like today, when it just looks like every rotation or every push back up kind of touches like VWAP or touches an EMA, and then you find sellers once again stepping back in like we kind of saw. Let's see, I can probably go to my execution chart. We can actually show this roughly.
And by the way, on that chart, let me interrupt really quickly here. Those time and sales bubbles, are they based on big size trades coming in, or just cumulative amount of trades at a given price?
It'd be a lot of volume within a very short time period at a certain price point. I don't exactly remember how I have it built on Ninja off the top of my head, like what my criteria exactly is. It's a pretty standard threshold. There's certain things I don't like to mess with, but for me, it's like on time and sales, once we've talked about the muscle memory thing, you kind of know what you're seeing. And then for me, like these bubbles that print is like that extra validation that I'm not crazy. I'm not seeing ghosts. I'm not seeing what I don't think I'm seeing. So it just kind of adds that extra layer of like a checkbox for me to say, okay, yeah, it looked like there was a bit of exhaustion on that put, or that looked a little, for example, like you might see us break below some spots and it's like, that kind of looks a little pukey. Like that was a very silly, very quick, let's call it like 10, 20, 30 points in a few seconds in NQ. And then it all stopped. All the buying went away. Like that's an exhaustive move that you can kind of see on time and sales. And a lot of the time you'll see one of these bubbles kind of print. Things are not always what it seems. Shapcap, that is correct.
Yeah, I mean, Nick, do you have a well, EH actually asked this question earlier. Sorry, I missed this. I just saw it. How do you choose which MGI to focus on?
It depends on the way you trade more than anything else. I mean, in any given session, we're gonna abide by, various ones. For me, it takes time that I have felt which ones I like to trade off of. For example, volume profile, like in the session, I may use the session's volume profile more as targets. A lot of the time, mine are based on the longer time frame as far as areas that I'd actually be interested in engaging with. But if I was like, for example, like let's say this wasn't the very end of the session, but if I got long here, like we saw this exhaustive push down below 100s, we came back in and I got long with these buyers that were aggressively starting to step in here as these candles turned blue. I would then use like the sessions, let's say MGI, more as like targets for managing my trade. Entries for me usually are leaned a little more on longer time frame structure, and then entry trigger being more order flow based. But as far as management of trade, which is like, I guess the other side of the coin that we don't always talk about, a lot of that comes down to targets based on the sessions MGI or the week's MGI. So if you got an outlier type move, let's say to the short side, and we, for example, know during like this, with just based on statistics, that in a given week, there's a high likelihood of if we don't, let's say, retest the week open during the week, like that's weird, that's rare. And if we hadn't done it, let's say, and I caught a good short and we hadn't tagged it, I may be trying to hold for a wider move if there was an aggressive sell or an aggressive buy, and it's a good far away target for me to hold for runners. But as far as management of my trades, a lot of that would be based on the sessions MGI. So overnight low, the sessions value area high, the initial balance high, things like that to kind of guide me trailing stops, to guide where I might want to take profit if I'm in a couple contracts. Like I know on the show, like a lot of time, guys, I'm trading 1 to 3 lots at the most. When I'm trading by myself and I'm focused and locked in, my sizings are going to be a little bigger and I'm managing my trades a little differently. But it's exactly based on that of how I'm taking profit, how I'm getting in and out of trades, how I'm doing ads or getting out is very much based on the session structure. And then same thing, like am I seeing aggressive buyers or sellers start to come in at certain spots? It's kind of the more defensive way that I trade, where I suddenly start trailing, or I might go stop break even if we get over a certain spot, knowing if we come back towards this entry, I am definitely wrong. We're probably going to liquidate, and we're probably going to go lower, or we're going to go higher, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Nick. The DLY actually is a really good question because I've had a lot of success here and I've had a lot of failure here. Would you use order flow tools how do you use order flow tools to enter on a continuation and play stops, etc.? For example, if you wanted to, and in quotes, chase the big dump that just happened today, would you be able to do that with order flow, or you just stay out of the way?
You definitely could have today. For example, an order flow and MGI, it's the same thing. Like there were parts during this session, I would say it wasn't clean. Like unless you got I don't know. I don't remember where Chris's entry was. Like there probably was some, but today is a day to the sell side. If you were trading NQ, if you were a little, I would say, aggressive with your stop placement or trailing, you would have been taken out. You wouldn't have caught this. And that's got nothing to do with order flow. That's just the way the structure was today. It just was not clean. This was not the happiest of sessions. This was not a trend down day. There's there's no single prints here. This was just a very orderly kind of drift lower and lower and lower, as you can kind of see by these candles and how we're printing. And this is about as sloppy and messy as it goes. As I said, I didn't really trade today. I took a couple, but for the most part, I mean, this was pretty sloppy. There was not a good, unless you short off the open or you happen to get in kind of on the OR mid trade with Leo and didn't trail your stop. That's probably the only trade that you could have gotten in and actually rode this down. But same thing. If you're a stop break even guy, if you like to take some off, like you saw this almost round trip you a couple times, and that's really hard to get in. Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, you're scalpy. If you are a scalpy kind of order flow trader, you probably had your pick of the litter today. There was several opportunities, but this was not a good, I would say, order flow day where there was a large absorption at this price, and we never really got back to that spot. This was a choppy, sloppy, miserable kind of slightly down day. The fun came from the overnight. If you were short from much higher, you probably had a great day. But I mean, even the initial push lower to like 250s, like we came all the way back to like the value area high, almost took out the initial balance high, throughout the session a couple times, just sitting here around 400s. And, the classic 420 short would have worked today if you were patient, but you would have been stopped out a couple times if you had tried that. So there are sessions where the order flow is very clear. There's a structured, higher low piece of MGI that you can lean on, and you really see an aggressive buyer or seller step in there. I talked about, when I see something like that in the longer time frame, the same spot get a larger player stepping in a few times. We talked about this in the free course. That's something that I will like manually draw my own box or my own piece of MGI. Just knowing like in any given rollover period, so quarter by quarter, there's somebody that cares about this spot where repeatedly it's almost like this, Jim, where, we have all these stars and things that print, but as we approach, let's say a certain spot or area and something like that were to print a couple times, like you see a star, you see the exhaustion bubble. And then I start to see it form as another piece of MGI on the volume profile or something. It just shows me that there is somebody with a lot more ammo than I have that's interested in continuing to defend a certain spot or initiating at a certain spot. So it's just something that I may mark manually in that case if I start to see things. And that's purely based on more order flow stuff on the short time frame. It's more like I saw it one day, 3 days later, I saw something similar happen at that exact kind of, let's call it area or range. That's, 20, 30 points in NQ. That may get marked. And that's something I'm going to continue to kind of watch. But a session like today, there's a lot of nonsense. And I think it's got a lot to do with the fact that we're in balance. ES is kind of doing its own thing around the very top of the range and kind of still near the all-time high. And then NQ was kind of just drifting lower. Like we're having that little bit of divergence too. So there's just a lot of noise this week. It could be like you saying, it could be the OPEX stuff or sometimes just not the cleanest day to trade.
Yeah. And then you'll run into these levels where there's just so much inventory that you can't defeat that. You just got to let it play out.
100%.
Shifting gears a little bit, Carl Boggs asks, Nick, do you ever use fair value gap?
I do not. Not my strategy with order flow. I know a lot of people do. There are others on the show that definitely use that, but I know it overlaps too with certain things that we do. You just call things different names. I mean, if it works to you, great, but that's not the terminology I've ever used or the way I've kind of looked at like candle gaps between areas and things. Like the only gaps I care about are going to be gaps between like the Friday settlement and the Sunday night open, or same thing. Like we have a settlement at the end of tonight's session, and then there's, Trump goes to the mic and we gap up 1% or something to start Globex. Like those are gaps that I look at and care about. I know others like to do the, RTH session or the SPX, like let's say the S&P 500 gaps, like the actual ETF gaps. People like to use those, but not something that I really build into my trading to guide a lot of decision making.
Got it. Jacob Brooks asks, does Nick plot the weekly open or monthly open from the RTH opens?
Jacob, don't feel bad about this because I had to ask Leo the exact question because I never actually understood what it was plotted based on, but it's the Globex ones. And there's a whole thing for it, and it's actually really complicated because of the way things work. But the weekly open is going to be that first opening print as Globex opens on Sunday night. The monthly open is a Globex open after the first of the new month, and there's a reason behind like how and why these things were done data wise. I couldn't exactly explain how it works because it depends on like because if like, okay, we had this discussion too, because the first of the trading month could be like July 3rd. And like, so because Globex isn't open in theory, it could be that Sunday night. It could be in the middle of the week. It's like there's weird scenarios with the month open. So I stopped asking questions about it.
Yeah, awesome. I think every calendar year, right? We open. There's New Year's Eve is a holiday, and then the next day is the
Exactly.
second. It's always the second.
Exactly. So that makes it a little more complicated. But for the most part, I mean, that's kind of what I do and how I start to I would say use that longer time frame structure to kind of guide my more day trading type entries. And part of what I'm trying to get better at is going to be looking at other markets to try to something as simple as this. Like what I do can be replicated on any and all markets, especially when I base a lot of my entry criteria or areas I'm looking to engage on just the volume at certain price points that the market is telling me. So I can put that to soybeans. I could put that to, any of the metals and like nothing really changes. It's like getting comfortable with the way the order flow or anything else kind of starts to guide me that I've always kind of struggled with. And it's the, I'm just always looking over my shoulder because NQ decides to tempt me back to trading it once again. But hence why I'm starting to actually use some of the language models and things to pull in new data sources. Because if I'm going to, let's say, start to trade, the metals more or watch crude or not even those, because I do watch those every day, but other products that are more out there that I have not historically traded, I'm trying to have eyes in other places so that I don't have to try to recreate the wheel in every other product that I might be interested in trading. If something's trending, like I'm trying to take things away from like Jack and some of the other traders on the show too, with the way they look at multiple markets and how they use screeners and some of these other things to kind of put something else front and center for them. So that's one of the reasons I'm kind of building what I'm building on the side for my own benefit finally. But for the most part, yeah, things like volume, where these areas are, MGI, you can translate to any product. You can translate it to single stock futures is kind of my next phase of this too.
Yeah.
Like all it's going to do is just tell you the same type of stuff. It's just the volume and orders data at certain prices. That's all of really what I use is, and then the net delta of said volume. So that's my goal. I'm going to try to get a little more comfortable with other instruments down the line here.
So Nick, you have a couple of slopey lines or squiggly lines, as XYZ would call them. Are those moving averages? What are those?
Those would be the only two VWAPs that I really look at, which is going to be the RTH one and the overnight one. So the overnight one would be anchored from the opening print on for Globex. So we call it the 24-hour VWAP. So every day it gets anchored from that opening print the same way I'd like to do the week open and things like the overnight open. I'd never really have cared to look at, I guess, from the overnight Globex session that kicks off in an hour here. But that will be anchored to that opening print. And then the opening print from RTH, obviously the RTH VWAP, are the two squiggly lines. And for me, I'm not an EMA guy. I have one-on-one chart, but for the most part, it just helps me kind of gauge the trend for the overnight, the session, and keeps me on the right side of trades. I sometimes will lean against them. Same thing. If I'm trying to get along with, let's say, the momentum for that session, it's where I may not necessarily be looking for an entry, but give me confidence to say, yes, the trend down, the trend up may be continuing in this session. I really use it that way. It's not like if we're balancing, it's going to be flat anyway, so it's not going to provide you a whole lot of data. That's when I probably will lean on more volume profile stuff to find entries or be waiting to kind of play the edges of the range. But yeah, I'm a fan of the VWAPs. I haven't quite turned on the extensions like Stowe does with his standard deviations and
Yeah.
stuff. But
No, when I first saw that, I thought, because it says 24-hour on it, and I thought, wow, how did they have a rolling view?
oh
I
no,
thought it was rolling, but I know it's anchored. I know that now, but when I first saw it, I thought it was rolling, and I was like, wow, that would be wild.
yeah. With someone said it in the chat, with order flow, it is hard to focus on multiple products at once. It really is. I think that's why a lot of the time I get sucked into probably the four that I look at, actively every single day. But then still, like I'm still watching crude. I mean, I do the full prep, my morning brief with the four products that gives MGI levels, a plan, option stuff for those four. But I still end up trading one or two of them every day. And I need to get better at the other instruments, at least just pushing myself to trade them more. And part of what I have set out to do with the screener and the dashboard and things that I've started to build is to challenge myself with the prop accounts to use those for some new products and things, trading micros with them to try some new stuff, as well as swinging with some of the micros in some of these others. Because if I'm not watching it every day, if it's not something I'm actively going to be, for example, like I don't know if I'm going to be able to look at the order flow on Platinum to guide my decision making the same way I can look at the order flow on NQ. It's just probably not an apples to apples match of executing that way. But leaning on things like MGI and structure and squiggly lines in some cases is probably where swinging micros for things is going to be a good fit for me to get comfortable with other products.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, do you have a chart example of, and I fall into this trap all the time, of a no trade zone? Like this is clearly an area you shouldn't do anything, and here's why.
Let's see.
I know I'm putting you on the spot by looking at a chart right now with on today's action, but for me it's like, all right, sometimes I enter positions, and then as it goes on, I'm like, man, I have a bad entry. Why did I do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, in today's session, ideally, I guess after our push down here, if we got above like this I guess the IB low at this point, like if we hadn't like done this push down, like that would have just told me, I mean, unless I'm trying to play the edges one side or the other, I don't really want to initiate kind of in the middle of the range. That's a lot of what it is. It just comes down to like when we're in between, or in the middle. The better range is probably even just the center of where we kind of opened to start this week, even. Like as we were kind of figuring out our feelings, like right here, like kind of this like 600 spot when there's a lot of indecision on like the week profile, even. We're just looking like that it would be like the center of this multi-week balance. Like I just don't really want to initiate in some of these spots. Like if we're in a situation like this, I do this because today's session doesn't give me a lot to kind of show you what I would mean by no trade zone. It's really just going to be based on things like this. Like we like to use the phrase like don't diddle in the middle sometimes. This would be an example of that on the longer time frame, where if you were to draw like a 4-week rolling volume profile here, where all 4 weeks of the structure, there's a giant point of control node, like right in the center here at like 600s. There's no need to initiate trades there. You kind of need to wait for which side of the balance are we going to leave? And then you trade along with that. We possibly could be entering one if we start to fail 29,000 here, where unless I can catch that short, let's say, to the next spot, it gets a little slippery. Once we lose this, let's call it, the 28,850s to 900s. This becomes a no trade zone for me unless I happen to already be playing the breakout short. Like if I were to get up to my desk late, if I don't catch that short and we break this, there's not a lot of volume for a little bit. And that's where I may be hands off, or I'm waiting for a pullback that I can sell into. But it's a lot more like suddenly the patience has to step out and we're in no trade until the market tells me otherwise. Because if we just start kind of drifting lower without a decent pullback or area that I can get back in, I have to be hands off, because it's just, there's not a lot of structure below us. And until we find structure again, until the market kind of slows down, there's no reason for me to try to long it. And I can't really reoffer and get in short without us kind of retesting another structure area. So that would be another example of one. So points of control, usually not the most enthusiastic spots for me to enter. And then areas of, or like a situation like this, of poor structure. It's one of those.
That was going to be a Jim Cagnina question about the point of controls. I mean, I kind of look at those as a destination, not a launching point.
I know. And some people, I still see people take entries at them all the time, and it drives me insane because it may work. It could not work. You could get stopped out for sure. But I can promise you one thing, it's likely going to take a while before you're wrong. And I hate that. That is the one thing that just drains my mental capital more than anything else. It's if I'm going to be wrong, I like to know pretty fast. I like to have tight stops at times and be in and out of trades. I don't want to drain mental capital, even worrying about a position that has a stop in with targets defined, like whatever. If I have to sit there and constantly even check my phone if I'm doing something else because I have a trade on, same thing. I just don't like to go through life a lot of the time with a day trade position on. I like to kind of be in and out. And for me, entering at an area of high volume is usually a recipe to be stuck staring at the chart and hoping something's going to work out for you for the rest of the session. I'd much rather wait for areas that I know I can be wrong and know I'm wrong quickly.
So how fast are you in a not tick book? I mean, would you put a position on it and go make a tuna sandwich?
Yeah, I could do that with the defined stop. I mean, there's situations I'll do that. Like, but it's the same thing. Like if I can't run like let's call it a 10 to 20 point stop in NQ and feel comfortable that if it hits, that I know I'm probably wrong and I don't necessarily always have to get back in, then yeah, I'm very comfortable with it. A lot of the time for me, it's kind of like scaling into the position and then setting my stop. And then I feel comfortable with what I'm seeing. But usually if I'm going to get stopped, it usually happens pretty fast if I'm trading like the first 2 hours of RTH for sure.
Got it. Chat, we probably have time for one, maybe two more questions. So if I miss something or you have something else on your mind, feel free to pop it in. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Nick, what's the best way for people to find you?
I mean, you can follow me everywhere these days. There's
NinjaTrader Live.
NinjaTrader Live. I trade here just about every day. Me and the boys do that. We have done some late night stuff too, with education and some fun just to kind of blow off steam at the end of the day. So we do that on our YouTube channel. You can have all of our playbooks at vibetraders.com. You can go to Nick4ATick.com. I have a free Substack where you can get my levels, my game plan for every single session and a week plan as well. Same thing, just go to brief.Nick4ATick.com or it's linked on my trader profile here. You can follow me on X. And I'm working on several like random new things as well, whether it's in the trading space or the AI space. As I said, I think I was teasing this to everybody when we were doing Trade the Close. But one of the things I am working on is a lovely like trading dashboard that houses a lot of this information front and center for me. That is going to do things like, build a swing model that surfaces insights to me immediately if I so choose. So I don't have to stare at charts all day. It can just pop the important information out to me. None of this is valid. I'm still working on modeling and scoring and things like that, but I want to start trading some other stuff. So part of me doing that is challenging myself to find not necessarily proven strategies, but confluence of things that work with my strategy for markets that I don't actively watch every single day. And a lot of that has to do with kind of combining things and trying some new things and seeing what works.
So I love that dashboard. So it's kind of, and actually Power Birdie kind of asked a question similar to this. How much of your process is programmable versus some discretion?
The order flow stuff, I don't think it's ever really going to be programmable just because the way we run stops, it's as dumb as this sounds, guys. It was in the course. XY says it. It's vibes. You literally have to kind of be watching in real time and how you feel about it. There's a lot of false signals. Like I've described that several times. When you first start to learn order flow and things, you are seeing ghosts. You think you're seeing things that happen, but it's not actually happening. That's why I think XY and I do the replay show. It's just, you really need to understand sequences, and the more you do it, the more you watch, the more it starts to become second nature and a gut, almost like a gut vibe that gives you the confidence to execute the way that I kind of do, which is running tight stops, which is catching the knife at weird moments, which is initiating when probably before the market shows its hand at times, when you might feel like if you entered shortly thereafter, you already missed the move because it happened like that. Like, that's how locked in sometimes you need to be. And that's really hard to program. What models are great at with this stuff is compiling a lot of data. And for something like this, surfacing it so I don't have to go digging for it. Like, if 6E is doing something and that makes sense and it fits whatever model of scoring that I'm building, that's awesome. I don't want to watch it to know that it's about to do those things. I just want something to tell me that things are happening that I can then focus on or trade them, because things are moving. And a lot of the time, that's the way I'm going to have to do it.
Got it. We are up against time, but I have one more question for you. So we're going to go a minute over. So apologies, Mission Control. You mentioned muscle memory earlier today. Now, I've been involved in this for decades. You've been involved in this for a very, very long time also. What's your best advice for folks who need to develop that muscle memory? Should they focus on one market, one time frame to begin with? Or, it's impossible to sit in front of the screen for 24 hours in a row.
100%. First of all, if you're newer, you're trying to define what that is, don't do that. Don't sit in front of the screens for 24 hours. Focus on one market. Focus on a strategy that is potentially repeatable for various markets. The one thing with order flow is the order flow is going to be different on every single product because every single product has slightly different volume and speed and things like that. So it gets a little complicated with different products. But something that's repeatable, that you understand, that you could potentially do for the average person with a 9 to 5 so that you don't have to sit there all day, every day. One of the ways to do that is to swing micros, which is probably what I recommend to a lot of people if you really wanted to trade futures, as opposed to trying to press buttons throughout the day, all day, every day, like we do. It's just not the perfect formula for everybody. So figure out what works for you, figure out how much time you can, in theory, dedicate to it, and then build your strategy kind of around that, build your edge around that. Because if there's one thing I think that XY and I talk about a lot about, it's the mental capital is significantly more important to me now as a full-time trader and as a dad than the actual physical capital is. If I am burnt out, it means my actual physical capital is also going to slowly start draining. It could be bleeding slowly, but I could tell you, if I am not mentally sharp and I'm not rested and I'm spending too much time on charts, it shows in my P&L. It's almost like the reverse thing that you think is going to happen, but to really get good out of it, you need to dedicate time to it to actually learn the muscle memory thing. It only comes with screen time, but productive screen time. Staring at the charts, the entire RTH Open, like going bell to bell and trying to develop an edge is not going to do it. It's all about productive screen time, which is why we talk about doing replay of certain sequences that happen in the market. Not staring at the chart all day, every day, but if something weird happened or something interesting, or there was a certain reversal or breakout, market, make note of what time it is, then go back, watch that sequence 10 times, and then look for that same type of pattern to occur several times going forward in the auction. Same thing, market, go back, watch it. That's more productive screen time. That's how you develop the muscle memory. You're not going to do it by having to stare at the chart every single day, 5 days a week, RTH open to RTH close. You will burn yourself out.
Yeah, great advice as usual. Nick, great Develop Your Edge session. Thank you so much for spending this extra time with us today. You were awesome. Greatly appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody in the chat, guys. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, production. I know I'm long-winded towards the end here, but we love you guys. Thank you all for hanging out with us.
Awesome, man. Everybody who's listening, appreciate you. Thank you for the subscriptions, the thumbs up, the great questions, a great camaraderie, especially in the chat. I do want to end it with the most important message of the day. Please be safe out there. Be good to each other. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys.